I'm holding court, you standing trial. Why ain't I see you round back when I was down? I'm holding court, you standing trial. Why ain't I see you round back when I was down? They ain't believe in me in the beginning, but wanna hang around now they see me winning. I'm holding court, you standing trial. Why ain't I see you round back when I was down?
What's up, world? It's Big Court from the Holding Court podcast. You already know what it is. What's up with your producer, Ken?
Man, we got a legend, West Coast legend in the house today.
Absolutely. We have
West, y'all.
Yes. We have movie costumer, celebrity stylist, fashionista, one of the first ladies. Is that correct to say? First ladies of Death Row? Death Row.
Oh, wait, and you forgot the first woman to get a deal with Stars and produce Snoop Dogg's first documentary. Don't Play With Me.
Exactly. And movie producer, executive producer,
Yes.
Miss Kenya Ware.
Hi, y'all. I'm back.
What's going on with you?
Oh, thank you for having me. I was excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming.
You're in my neck of the woods.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
This is my home, too. This is Burbank,
Yeah.
Warner Brothers down the street. I'm home.
Oh, yeah, this is where it goes down. You know, we done took over this joint. This the hood now. This Holding Court podcast hood.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
Okay.
took
I got the right
Burbank
colors
out.
on, but I see I wore multiple colors. I'm everything.
You got on green,
I'm
so
on
you
everything.
good.
Oh,
You got green in there, so that's our color.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, man. But listen, you've done a lot of great things in the industry. You've been around a long time, really. A long time. And you've been around some very pivotal figures, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, from the streets to the industry.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to start from the beginning, though. Where are you from, specifically?
Okay, so we're going to start elementary.
Mm-hmm.
I was a Culver City girl, elementary.
Okay.
But then family moved to Baldwin Hills in the Dons area.
The Dons.
The Black Beverly Hills.
Yes, the Dons is lush over there.
Yeah, before it was called the Black Beverly Hills,
Yeah.
it was the Black Beverly
Yeah,
Hills.
you want to move over there?
I almost moved over there.
you
Yeah,
was trying to get out
absolutely. I almost moved to View Park.
Okay,
But
yeah.
But
It's
I was
right
looking
there.
at some houses up there in the Dons. Yeah.
We were all one happy family. View
Mhm.
Park on one hill with Northridge and the Dons on the other.
Mm-hmm.
Lower Ladera, Upper Ladera.
Mm-hmm.
We all won.
Yeah, Ladera is, man, it's beautiful over there. It really is. It's always been like that. It was always lush yards and just kind of where
Always.
I guess, what is that? Will it be upper middle class or middle class?
That was, it started off as middle class, but it
Mhm.
slightly moved to upper middle class.
Mhm.
Most of those parents, at that point, they were making over $100,000 a year. They were
Wow.
professional people at that point.
And this is 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
Wow.
but they bought those houses for like $40,000 or $50,000.
Damn.
Now we're looking at $3 million.
Hell yeah. Man, when the house I was looking at over there in View Park, this was probably, when I moved to Encino, Ken. That was about 15 years ago.
Encino was
Yeah.
like 06 maybe?
06.
07?
It was a house over there in View Park. It was pretty big, about 5,000 square feet, a new build. It was like $1 million too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember back in, was it 94? Daz and I bought our first house in Silver Lake Hills. Silver Lake, it's off of Benton Way.
Mm-hmm.
24-hour guard, homeowner association behind gates because he wanted
Yeah,
to be
of
behind
course.
gates. We bought that house. I think I negotiated. Marcus, the basketball player, Marcus Johnson, his ex-wife Jocelyn and I negotiated that
Mhm.
house down to 301.
Wow.
I sold it for $5
Yeah.
in '98. It's like $3 million now.
That's crazy.
So whenever I
Yeah,
see
it's
Daz,
crazy.
I just cuss him out. I'm like, it's because of you. I could have had that house still. It's because
Right.
of you.
Where is that at? Silver, what did you say? What is
It's
it?
Silver Lake.
Silver
So
Lake.
Highland Park area?
Oh, you mean here, Silver Lake up by Hollywood? by East
101
Hollywood.
freeway.
Yeah.
Get off
Oh,
at Benton
okay.
Way
Okay.
and all the way up in the hills.
Yes. Okay. I got you. So, okay. Yeah.
We opened that up down there, and
Okay.
we had to behind. That's Snoop spent most of his murder trial when he was going through at our house because we were closer to downtown for him to get back and forth.
Wow.
So our house was the plug for everybody because we were in the epicenter of
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
and behind gates with a 24-hour armed guard.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was
Y'all
safe.
needed that back then.
Oh, you
Yeah.
have no idea.
Yeah, but we're going to get to that, though. So starting in the beginning, so you grew up, you have siblings. What was your household like, your family life like?
Let's see. So my mother married my father when they were 20 and 21, and then you're young, New Orleans guy, got divorced. So it's me and my brother in that household, older brother. Married my stepfather. He was a chemical engineer. My mother was an entrepreneur, had her own business. Our whole family we've always had a family of entrepreneurs.
Nice.
My grandfather was the first person probably in the LA area to open up a printing shop in the 1950s. 40s, 50s, something like that, 50s, 60s. And it's still open today. My uncle, my cousin run it. So we're from a business of have your own shit.
So you grew up in a household where entrepreneurship was promoted and demonstrated, and also education probably was a focal point as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you went to college?
Went to college, but let me take you a step further back. My grandmother was the entertainment guru, right? Her best friend was Rolona from Good Times.
Oh, okay.
So I spent a lot of time on the sets of Good Times at 5 and 6 years old.
Dang.
Playing in her wig. So I was at KTLA.
Yeah.
My mother, her best friend was married to one of the Commodores. So I would be in the studios with the Commodores and the Gap Band. So, and then my aunt, my grandmother's sister, was promotions for Motown. So I knew about the entertainment business before most of these people they talk about it. I knew about the Berry Gordy's, all the Total Experiences, all that.
So it was inevitable for you to transition into entertainment then. That's just your lineage.
Entertainment was me already. I found entertainment. It didn't find me.
Yeah. So you remember who was the label out here with Who had Shalimar?
Was that Atlantic?
No. It was old Dick Griffey. Dick
Griffey, Dick Griffey came along a long way because he was part of Death Row Records.
Yeah, I know in the beginning. Yeah, but he had, was it Solar in the beginning?
It was Solar. Capital
right.
Solar. Those were the most in the Total Experience. It was all the little labels that branched up, but yeah.
So that was your area. You were around that. You saw
all around that.
Yeah.
Everything.
Is Lakeside from here?
No, I think they were from. Most of those groups like that, no, they were from
the
like
Midwest.
The Midwest. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now you're in the Dons. Now, for those that don't live in LA, this definitely is the Beverly Hills, the Black Beverly Hills of LA. But as we know, you come out the hills, you hit that La Brea,
either way,
or what is it, or Slauson, you know what I'm saying? And you go east, you hit Crenshaw and Slauson. So you're here at the Rich Rolling. And at that time, it was probably the Arlington Boys. Were they 60s already?
Yeah, but people don't get it. Even people don't. Okay, so they think about the Rich Rolling because I hung out with those guys. They all had big houses.
Right.
It was the Rich Rolling because the families had homes.
Exactly. Yeah.
They were not from the projects where their apartments. These guys have never lived in apartments a day in their lives.
Exactly.
Parents they came from 2-family homes.
Yeah.
It's just the environment.
It's the environment because you can because there's one thing about LA, you can get food.
Yeah.
Right. You can think you in some this shit nice. Look at the yards manicured, and you amongst some real shit.
You don't know who's kids.
My ex-wife's family's all from New York, so they're used to project house. They're from the Bronx, Puerto Rican, from the Bronx.
Soundview, Bronx. Oh yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. I've lived on Soundview. But when they think projects and bad neighborhoods, even Cheyenne out there. He came to LA and he's like, "This is a bad neighborhood," because it just doesn't. To him, he needs a tower. And like 100 people standing outside, and he's like, "This doesn't feel." And I'm like, "Oh, you can get your shit rocked."
Let me tell you how I almost got fucked over when I was looking for a house. I was over in, I guess it's called Beverlywood.
Oh yeah,
right?
I know
so
exactly.
Over like Cadillac,
Robinson, Hamilton High School, right in back of there.
Man, look, I hit a couple corners. And was like,
you on Shenandoah, huh?
I was like, fuck, this the trap.
That's Playboy neighborhood.
Yeah. I'm like, this the fucking trap. And y'all asking $1 million for this shit? But if I hadn't rolled around, I'd have been fooled by this Beverlywood shit. Yeah. Thinking it was a trap.
Shenandoah right there. Yeah. You hit 2 blocks. That's Playboy gangster neighborhood, okay? You're going to be in the midst of some gang violence.
I'm from Sacramento, and I came to go to college at Northridge. And I got a place in Pacoima, like, oh, it's cool. It's like it's right here down the street.
I remember when you was in,
I think you
in Arleta.
Yeah. Well, no, it was 91331, which is Pacoima. They had just rezoned it to Arleta, but Arleta was like 2 rival Latino gangs just
I was about to say.
Shooting it out. We had all the Latino gangsters in my neighborhood, and I came from NorCal, and I had to have an understanding in a neighborhood. They said, like, where are you from? And I said, not here.
I don't live nowhere near here. I'm from the sticks.
You know what I had to learn? Because I got banged on a few times, right? And so, because I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. So when I would say KC, oh, you from Kitchen Crip, cuz? I'm like, no, nigga, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri.
Crip?
Yeah.
And that's not a good thing?
Yeah, but mostly they hit me with the Kitchen Crip because Kitchen Crip wear all KC Royal shit.
Yeah.
They wear all KC shit.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that on the fly.
Yeah.
But you get stuck with team hats out here. I can't like my ex-wife's from New York. You can't wear Yankee hats out here.
Man, them hats be meaning a lot of shit.
They mean a lot.
You can have any color on right here, but that hat is going
to
tell a little story.
I'm legitimately just Derek Jeter era, right? Like, I got my Yankees hat on. I went to a game. Nope, not in LA.
Don't put that on. Take it off.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, so you come from this, loving household with, well-to-do.
Yeah.
How did you navigate the environment? Because once you come out the hills, then you're amongst that. How did you go? I mean, and I know you're a woman, but still, you still had Criplets. You still had the females doing their thing. How did you navigate that?
Well, growing up there, and then I'm best friends with EazyE's girl Tracy, who live down the hill. Go down the hill, make a left. Those are all Bloods, right? You get there, and then go up a hill. They're all Crips. You just have to navigate it. I mean, I knew where I needed to be. I knew down the hill was not for me. I grew up with all these people up here, so it was easy to navigate. I stayed out the way and played my part.
Right.
I'm friends with everybody.
So how did you meet? You met Tracy from the neighborhood?
So Tracy, I used to work at Nordstrom, started there 15 years old.
Which, let me say this for the people watching, Tracy Jernigan.
Tracy Jernigan.
This is EazyE's, EB's mother, EazyE's baby's mom. Yeah.
Absolutely. My bestie to this day. Worked at Nordstrom, started at 15. She was coming up there spending all Eazy's money. This is at the beginning. So her and I became tight because she's giving me the credit. So her and I became besties. And ended up, before Death Row even opened the door up, I was over there with the Ruthless. I was always in the passenger seat with her. Her and Eric would be in a fight. I'm right here. Going up to Jerry Heller's office. I'm here. Spending the night at EazyE. EazyE had a townhouse in the Summit in Woodland Hills.
Oh, shit. I know exactly
That's
where that is.
before everybody. Snoop lived there, Brian McKnight, DJ Quick. But
he's at the Summit.
EazyE
Everybody in the Summit now.
But EazyE was there before everybody. That was his hideaway.
Yeah.
We spent weekends there. Eric's mom's house. So I knew all the Ruthless people. And that's kind of how I met the Death Row. Tracy introduced me to everybody. That was my girl.
Really? So hold up, Kenya. So you started with Ruthless, more or less.
Her,
right?
yeah.
With Tracy, through Tracy, but you're around E, you're around Dre, and all of them. And you met Suge, I'm assuming, through
Tracy.
Through Tracy, right?
Yeah, it was.
So how did you choose Death Row over Ruthless?
Okay, so
because I was Team Ruthless.
Yeah,
you
wanted to be on Ruthless.
I was trying to be on Ruthless.
But then when Snoop hooked me up with his cousin Daz, I got to roll with what he rolled with, and I tried to stay out of the men business because the politics only came in with the money when Dre was leaving, and that's when it became beef. And I'm like, well, I'm already over here. I'm with Daz. I'm rolling with them.
Yeah,
Easy, fuck you too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to go with your man.
I gotta go with my
you gotta
peeps,
go with your
but
man.
because that's my loyalty's there.
Yeah, as it should have been. So let me ask you this. So what was Eazy like back then? What was your impression of Eazy? I mean, you spent a lot of time around him?
This with Tracy, sometimes he loved to spend money. He loved women. Loved his mother. He was just like always moving. Like it was always something. But all I know is that Eric loved the plethora amount of women. That was his.
He had an insatiable appetite for women.
Did.
Huh?
And
so,
they all had a certain look. All of them. The light skin and the hair had to be this way, kind of like Suge. Everybody had to look a certain way.
Right.
That's Eric.
So let me ask you this. So now that we're speaking about Eric by Eazy, do you subscribe to the how should I say, in terms of how he got sick and the conspiracy theory?
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't think. I remember I got the call. I mean, it's like he had a cough. He went to Cedars-Sinai. I knew the respiratory therapist. It was helping him. He got there and suddenly he has AIDS. I don't buy it. Really? I don't buy the fact that happened. Somebody did that to him. It's no way Eric was loving women. Even if he had it, it takes tolls in different manner. I mean, it starts off this way and it takes a toll.
Right.
It happened too fast for it to be full blown.
Now, let me ask you. Now, in all fairness, right? And Lil Eazy is my partner. I have a relationship with him. That's my nephew. That's my guy.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. I don't know that I subscribe to a conspiracy theory. I think that possibly maybe he knew about it, or maybe he didn't.
Yeah.
And maybe he knew and didn't take it seriously, or maybe was in denial and it just got a hold of him. And, you know, it was too late by the time that, because, you know, people do that. People be sick. I mean, niggas do that. Men do that anyway. You know, it'd be some shit going. They don't want to go to the hospital, you know.
No, I get that. I get that. But when you think
and
of
especially
HIV, that's...
But especially when you say that he loved women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if he...
But not one of the women, not one.
That is
whatever
that is
tested positive.
Yes.
For
it.
That
way kids that don't.
Yes. Now that's the part that I can go with. Yeah. But in all fairness, I mean, you have I believe even with Cookie and Magic, like Cookie the same way. You know what I mean? So
Magic had millions and millions of dollars to go see Sabi and do all kind of things.
But I'm saying up until the point he didn't know until, you know, when he found out. Right. I mean, he already had a baby on the way. You know, so it would have been in there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying she didn't. You feel what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying, but just think about it. I mean, look at the timeline. They said that he was in New York. He started coughing. He passed out. And he gets back to L.A. and then has to, you know, he has this flu-like symptoms. Something would have been going on because you have to start out with the HIV.
Right.
And there are different things that come along with that that come on, and then it goes full-blown.
For sure.
I just don't.
So do you question whether or not he really died from AIDS? Maybe it was something else, and maybe it was just a conspiracy of we just gonna say his age and sweep it up under the rug.
I mean, that's a horrible way for somebody, your side out, to lie about it. I trust that was the case, but I don't know. It's something happened. Something happened that we just don't know, because I was around all of them. I mean, Eric, he seemed to be fine. Right. And you can't fake the funk. Right. If your body's shutting down, it's nothing you can do. You can't say, okay, hold up right now. You got to hold your arm up. No. It's something went down, and I don't know what he was dibbling into. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
But I just know that AIDS takes a little bit long. You know, it takes a toll.
Right.
So, you know.
So it was weird. It was weird that he checked in and was just out.
Just like that. But he only had one episode prior to that, passing out in New York.
Right.
You know, coughing, having a cough attack, but that's all respiratory.
Right.
And then getting back to LA and then checking himself into the hospital. Come on.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, the part that I did find odd is the fact that nobody else contracted. You ain't had one woman come through and say, hey, you know, so that.
And they're all still around.
That is, they're all, nobody's died. That's strange. Yeah. That part is very strange. That's very strange. But so what was it like being around like Ruthless? Because this is the time that they're coming up there. Because you met them, I'm assuming had NWA formed yet? Had that album?
Oh yeah, they had already formed.
So they was blown up by the time you came around.
Ren and I were real tight. I remember we all went to go see I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. We were all cool. The only thing I questioned back in the days, I remember going to a concert, one of the concerts, because Ren and I became good friends, right? And Celebrity Theater, and it was in 89, and we get to the concert, a fight breaks out. So I'm like, oh, I'm out of here. Like, me and my friend, we're young. I'm like, I'm getting in my car. And I remember Ren running up to me at the microphone in his hand. He's like, oh, I'm coming with y'all. I'm like, you coming with us? Don't you have a car? No. So I remember during that time that Eric and Jerry had all the money, and I remember Ren didn't have a car. I remember he drove his sister's B210 around.
Wow.
And I remember Cube didn't have one at first, and then he got the sidekick. So it was weird that they're playing Gangster on the radio. They're playing all these things on the radio, and no one has a car. And I know I gave him a ride home. That was my first time in Compton, giving Ren a ride home.
And this is with Fuck the Police. This is straight out of Compton, has blown up.
This is 89.
Wow.
And I'm giving him a ride home from a concert with the microphone still in his hand. I'm like, bro, you don't have a no.
Did you ever peep any tension between them, being around them?
Cube was he was so smart, and he kept up with everything because he went to Taft High School, so we all knew we had mutual friends.
My kids graduated from Taft. Shout out to Taft.
Taft High School. I just knew that you could see that Cube was just peeping out. All right, I don't have a car. I don't have these things. You can just mentally. He's not a verbal person at that point. He's more mental. And you would just see, because he was still living with his mother. Everybody's still at their mom's house. He's still on the Ramby and Nori mommy's house.
Wow.
You know, Jinx is still at his mama's house.
Yeah.
I'm at my mama's house.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, you don't have no cars? So I think the Cube, you know, he's like, I can do better than this.
Yeah. So Suge is around at that time, but he's bodyguarding. Okay. So what was your impression of Suge, meeting him at such a young age?
I met him. I remember the night I met him, and we were all hanging out at I think it's called the Sofitel now. What is the hotel right behind the Beverly Center?
The Sofitel.
But it was something else then.
Uh-huh.
So Tracy was going up there to hang. We were going to hang out. She said, we're going to hang out with Snoop Dogg, and Snoop Dogg wasn't even known then, but we're going to hang out with she said Dre and a guy named Suge, because Dre was the name. Who's Snoop, who's Suge?
Right.
So we go up there and hang out. It's a group in there, poor, broken, lonely. Everybody's in the hotel partying. It's a party in the room. So I'm sitting up there, and I had my books, because I went to Cal State Northridge, and I wasn't supposed to be hanging out that night with Tracy.
Northridge guy.
I had my history book. So I'm like, all right, they're not going to mind if I go in the corner, because I got to study.
Yeah.
Dr. Rhodes, my black history teacher at Cal State Northridge, I got homework to do. So I sat in the corner doing my homework, and they puffing on weed, having a good time. Once somebody's braiding Snoop's hair, I meet Snoop, I meet Suge. So the night winds down. Everybody end up doing their thing. I need a ride home, because I'm stranded at this point. Everybody just wallowed off. So Suge was like, what's your name? I'm like, I'm Kenya. Where do you live? Because I'm gonna have to give you a ride home. People have disappeared. All right, well, I live in Baldwin Hills. So he gave me a ride home, and that ride between the Beverly Center and Baldwin Hills, we became best friends.
Really?
He said, I admire you. I said, why? He said, because you sat in the corner the whole night doing your homework.
So Suge was a complete gentleman.
Complete gentleman. Complete. And that opened up the door. But remember, I'm meeting him kind of in Snoop first, but he always would say to this day, I knew she knew me first before y'all. That's my friend.
Had the rift between him and EazyE started at
It's
that
about
point?
that time. You know, it's quiet at that point, but it's coming.
Okay.
It's coming, because you got them all in the room. You got DOC, you got Suge, you got all of them forming their clique now. Everybody's forming now.
Right.
Everybody's getting away from Eric now, and I was oblivious to it. I'm
wow.
like, you know.
Speaking of Doc, were you around when he had his accident?
I remember I got the call, because I remember Ren or one of them called and said that he had wrecked the new car, drunk again. New car he got, and of all things, he slid his voice box. I'm like, wait. Of all things? I remember the call that day.
Wow.
They were all ended up at Cube's house that day after he got in an accident.
So now you're hanging around Death Row a little bit.
Death Row is forming. It's a wave. It started off on Coanga with Dick Griffey. Snoop, at that same night, he said, I'm going to hook you up with my cousin. Daz is in Oklahoma living. His mother ended up taking him maybe like at 13 years old to Oklahoma. Bible Belt. She's getting into the Bible, chasing the Bible. They're out there. 187 is coming. That kind of just opens up the door now. This guy Snoop and Dre have a video out now.
Right.
Everybody knows them now.
Yeah.
Daz is on the first Greyhound bus from Oklahoma. His cousin done made it.
Yeah.
Everybody's coming. All the family members are coming, because now he made it. We gonna make it too. I remember the night that Snoop, they called me in half dead. Yeah, we're gonna introduce you to Daz tonight.
Yeah. So
Tracy and I get dressed up, Dooney bag, purse, little diamond earrings. We're in her Acura Legend on Barbettes. We pull up to Century Club. It's something else at that point. We cute. So Dre was like, yo, man in there. I'm like, he better be cute, because Snoop said he looked like him. And if he gonna look like him, I don't want him, because I'm a fly girl.
So Snoop playing matchmaker.
Oh, yeah, he played matchmaker.
Okay.
But when I seen Daz, I'm like, you fucking gotta be kidding me. He looked like he just got off the Greyhound bus. I was like, so everybody got jokes now?
Yeah.
So I was ready to leave the party, because I'm like, what am I gonna do with him?
Right.
Snoop promised me, he said he looks just like me. Daz is not a bad looking person, but he was not.
He didn't look like Snoop. I don't think so.
No, Snoop was like, I said, he got hair like you. He got, and he had a little afro at that point. I was a fly girl at that point.
He's a little rough around the edges. Yeah.
So Tracy and I hop into the car. Here comes Dre. Yo, man. I'm like, okay, you got jokes. Okay, I got some for you too.
Yeah.
And Daz grew on me because I was like, what am I going to do with this boy?
What was Daz's pickup line? What was the first thing he said to you?
Oh, he would call me up. If you're going to pick me up from the studio, they're going to kill me up here. Me and Corrupt, they're going to get killed. He would always say something dramatic to get me to come. I'd be on dates. I went back to cornballs at that point. I gave up.
Okay.
Right? He would call me while I'm on dates. And if you're going to pick me up from the studio, they're going to kill me up here. Me and Corrupt need a ride home. So it started off like, help me.
I got you. So he never came with no, hey girl, no smooth shit.
No, it was just, help me. I'm in need.
Okay.
He knew I worked at Nordstrom, so we began to form. He got it. Kind of got he stuck a little bit. I remember because Shantae Moore's album Pressure was out, and I was like, God, this boy. Then I had to start buying him clothes. I'm like, well, if I'm gonna be around him, I got to clean him up.
Yeah.
So I got him his first Nikes. He got some Levi's. I started cleaning them up.
Wow.
And he didn't have any money at that point.
Right.
So I would give him and Snoop like $50 out my check because it was no food in the refrigerator and they were going to steal. They didn't. It was no money. Mm-hmm. They lived in an apartment. They shared an apartment on Benton. Sharitha lived next door. That was the new dog pound. That was the second dog pound. The first one was in Hollywood where like 16 of them lived. But Snoop is coming up a little bit. But he has an apartment now in West LA now.
And Sharitha, that's
Suge's ex-wife.
Suge's ex-wife, right.
She lived next door.
Okay.
So, I started bringing stuff over there to him. Let me bring him some shoes. Let me get him some pants. Let me clean him up because if I'm going to be around him, he gotta look the way I want him to look.
That's kind of funny, though, because I remember back in the day, my old lady, she did the same thing for me. I was like 15, 16. Yeah. She had bought me some Jordans and like some, I was rough around the edges, so she did.
You told me that story several times.
Yeah, she bought me Jordans, her Jordans. Well,
because Yomi's older, right?
Yeah, and my daughter. She brought my daughter Jordans too, so we had the matching Jordans. She brought me, I remember. It's so funny because my old lady is older than me, so I remember her taking me school shopping when I was like, she was already in college. I was like 11th grade.
No.
That's my old lady.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's what she wanted to do because just out of love. Same thing you did. With
I did.
Daz.
I was the ride.
Yeah.
When they would drop me off at Nordstrom. This is the funny thing. They dropped me off at Nordstrom. It would be Snoop's wife or Snoop or Daz because he can have that. Snoop's first car was that Cherokee Jeep. They would take my Honda Accord, drop me off at work, and somebody would be in my car. It would be somebody driving, and somebody would pick me up. I don't know. It would always be a Daz, Snoop, whoever.
Yeah.
But I tell people, I'm like, nah, I was with them before no money was there. Like I was giving up $50 a week on my check, my Nordstrom bill.
You was ride or die.
$7 and now $6 an hour.
Yeah, you was ride or die.
Yeah.
No, that's what's
Beginning.
Up. Let me ask you. So around this time, they're forming Death Row. Did you ever hear whispers of Harry-O?
Yeah, Lydia was Lydia. Actually, when I had my daughter Imani at the Cedar Sinai, Lydia came up there. So, yeah, she was always around. I heard that name.
Okay.
Yeah, always. I mean, I talk to Lydia to this day, but Lydia was around. I remember, like, me and Yo-Yo had our rooms were next door to each other, other than 94. And, yeah, Lydia, the name was there.
So do you feel like that was a real thing? Harry-O was really vested? Him, and I know it's another unnamed guy that were vested in Death Row.
David Kenner? Yeah.
No, not David Kenner. It's another street guy.
Oh.
Yeah, but
we only knew of him, and I think, his name came up a lot because why would Lydia be there?
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah, he was the man back in the day, so he definitely was vested in the Death Row record.
What was your impression of Snoop when you met him?
I love me some Snoop. He was just a funny jokester, little rapper, skinny little thing, wearing 2 pair of pants because he wanted to be a 38 waist, but he really was a 32. But, he was so sweet.
Yeah.
He was the sweetest.
Did you see the superstar power in him? Did you see that it factor in him at first?
I did. I seen this, but he was always so sweet, just, I don't know, it was something about him. We latched onto each other first. And I used to look out for him with his current wife now. That was his girlfriend. They went to the first client tour. She stayed with me a lot. I taught her how to drive. When she had to catch a case for Snoop, I went to the jail to take her stuff. So I had a loyalty with him. Okay. It was a loyalty with Snoop.
So around that time Mob James, Buntry, all of them, were they around at that time?
Buntry. Mob James was not around because I was everywhere.
Okay.
I was in 10900 Wilshire Boulevard, over there on Westwood Boulevard in Wilshire. That was the first death row. Well, it was the second death row office, but technically the first. Buntry, Heron, Lip Dog, all of those guys, those were my buddies. We all traveled together, had their numbers. They were all from the mob. Those were my people. I never met his brother.
So you never met Mob James?
No, I mean, if he was around, then, you know, because Face was around. All those guys, I knew all them bloods. I would go over to Suge's mom's house. So I pretty much well knew the frontliners.
Okay.
He was not a frontliner at that point.
Okay.
Because I would have known. I was nosy and I was everywhere at the studio, Can-Am, Larrabee East, Larrabee West, the Village. The studio was at my house. And these guys, Big Jake, he would travel with us. I knew all of them, but I never, Mob James was not in the center circle of us at that point.
I got you. So now at about this time, I'm assuming you're seeing now, you didn't really know the Ruthless death row thing was brewing, but now the disc records start
coming.
Brewing.
Oh, at the video shoot, we had the look-alike EazyE. Oh, we're full blown.
So now once you see that, I mean, because Daz is your man, but Tracy's your best friend, and you're cool with her. Obviously, she's on Ruthless side. So what? Oh, she wasn't?
Because her and Eric were having problems at that point. So Tracy was riding. Her and Suge were close, so she was riding.
Oh, wow.
Because when things kind of fracture over there, she's over here. She wasn't saying F Eazy. That's her kid's father, but she's still solo rolling with us.
Wow.
It was no beef.
Okay.
When we go to parties, me and her were still at the party. Suge was still letting us in. We weren't part of all that.
Wow.
They didn't hold her responsible for that. That was his problem.
Wow.
But she rolling with us.
Okay. Oh, okay.
This is the new and fresh.
So now
West
we
Coast.
Fast forward to Ruthless radio show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So this is that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why? So EazyE has his show, the Ruthless Radio.
Yep.
And Dog Pound calls in
Show
to
did.
troll him. You know what I mean?
We had to troll. Well, they were trolling. Everybody was there, and I'm riding right along with them because I was mad at him already. Like, you playing my girl. See, it was all kind of stuff.
Now, this is the thing. Until I did the research, right, I didn't know that was you that said you need to get your shit right with Tracy Punk. I thought that was Michelle A. talking about DOC. Because DOC's named Tracy.
They were being quiet in the background because they still had they were still in contracts with him. So they couldn't, Michelle A. said something high, but then she snuck to the back.
Right.
DOC wasn't going to say nothing because it's still money involved.
Yeah.
I had beef because you had screwed over my friend and I'm riding with her, punk. So what's up?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm adding fuel to the fire because you did her wrong, so now I hate you too. I didn't like him for the Tracy reason, not for all the other stuff.
I got you. So whose idea was it? Y'all just sitting around chilling. Y'all like, you know what? Let's call up the Ruthless Radio.
I think it was Daz and Corrupt. They like, let's call up there because it was already, it's beef going on with Luke. It's all that. And we're the second tier. Snoop and them, this beef is going. So now we got a hold of the number. And why not call? We were all at the studio all together.
Yeah.
And I said, they said call. And I'm like, okay, let's just let loose.
Yeah.
No filters.
Yeah.
Wait, was that what we were just talking about with South Central Cartel?
Yep. Because South Central Cartel was there. Yeah. Yeah.
And we had a good time. I mean, we thought at that point, they were has-beens at that point.
Okay.
We were the new.
Yeah.
We were the baddest. We had everybody behind us. Who gonna mess with Death Row at this point? We're crazy.
Right.
And we wanted to troll them, and we had a good time doing it.
So, do you think EazyE? Do you think he handled it well?
I mean, I think he did good. I mean, because he was, he was older than us.
He was older.
He was in his 30s, and we're still 22, 23.
And you shot him with that too. You was like, "How old are you?"
Yeah.
He was like, "Don't matter how old I am."
He was 30 something.
He was 30. He was about 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we still youngies, so we gonna throw that little age at you. We gonna get you.
And
you
see,
know,
we get that shit now. Niggas hit me with the unk. You know what I mean? The OG. You know what they really saying?
Auntie. I'll be. I say I can be auntie all you want to, but auntie look better than your mama and your girlfriend. Don't play with me.
Yeah. So once you hear real Compton City G's, what's going on at Death Row?
I mean, it's on site now at this point.
Okay.
With the boys, it's on site when we see, and I love BG Naka. That is my brother to this point. I love me some him, but it's still on site. Now when we see y'all, it's gonna be a problem. And at that point, you guys, we didn't worry about it. Was no guns involved. It was none of that. It was like hands.
Right.
Like if Nate sees you, he's going to hit you with his fist or a Trey D. It was not, you never had to worry about a gun.
Yeah.
That's the thing, you guys.
Yep.
We just knew somebody was going to have a black eye. His lip was going to be hanging down, but he was going to get home to his family.
Right, right. And they only had one clash on the golf.
Yeah, on the golf course.
On the golf course.
Yep.
Were you
Nate
there?
Dogg,
I was not there at that moment. I got the calls after that, but because none of the girls, we weren't there, but I got the calls. I'm like, what?
So it's been widely reported that Nate Dogg was probably the most active in gangster out of Dogg Pound.
Oh God, him and Trey D are the most active.
Really?
And that's the two. I mean, you did not want to mess with either one of those two because Trey D had that look in his eyes, and God forbid at that point, if he had smoked some sherm that day, you might not make it home alive.
Right.
And Nate Dogg, you just never. Nate Dogg was a rider. He sat back, but he would come through your window at night and come see you. He was methodical.
Yeah.
Big as hell, but very methodical.
That's funny how the singer was the rider.
Oh yeah, he was coming
like LV.
Yeah, like LV from South Central Cartel.
He's thinking of how he's gonna come through your window tonight. You doing all that? He's gonna come see you later. So yeah, those two right there.
Yeah. Did Death Row? Did y'all ever have any other like issues in the streets outside of the industry, the Ruthless thing?
I mean, other than the East Coast. I mean, that was the next thing after the Luke. You remember Luke?
Yep.
And you remember we were in Atlanta. You remember they beat Luke and all his people up. I was there and hiding under the table by that point.
Really?
Yeah, it was freaking.
Who won that fight?
Death Row all day.
Really?
Let me tell you something. This is how I finally met the Buntree, the Lip Dogs, the Herons. They all flew down to Atlanta. All the Death Row, Snoop, all of them were there. I was down there with Lil Malik, Monica, all that record label, Dallas Austin's label. So Lil Malik was hanging out with me. He was only 13, 14. And I remember Luke and them were somewhere. Death Row walks in, and all you see was a sea of red. And them boys, it seemed like Buntree and them, they had muscles and they red t-shirts, and all I knew, pow, pow, start taking off. I flew under the table, me and Malik. We were peeping under the table until it was over with. I'm like, I am not coming out. Yeah, but Death Row wasn't no joke.
Wow.
Them boys were all hands on.
Okay. And that was you said Miami or Atlanta?
That was in Atlanta. That was like at Jack the Rapper or something. One of those events. Freaknik somewhere. One of those events where it's televised that what happened, but in a newspaper. But yeah, it was wild.
Okay.
They were building that rep up.
Right. So now around this time you got the Chronic. Classic record. I mean, one of the dopest hip hop records, especially in the 90s, but especially in the 90s. Then you got Doggy Style. So now Snoop is coming into his own and he's becoming a superstar.
Oh yeah.
So now the money's rolling in. I can assume that it's a movie every day, right?
It's rolling in. I mean, piece by piece, Snoop is getting it, but there's still in that apartment, until the fateful day, where the case, you caught the murder case, and I was there because it got.
You were where?
I was in the car. The gun got pulled on me first.
Okay, with the security guard and Snoop.
Yeah, I was dropping clothes off for Daz. The position was that half dead, Lil C style outside. I pull up, but I'm pulling up the opposite way. And we're sitting up there talking, handing him the Nordstrom bag. Philip Watermarian's pulling up. And this is the first day we see him brandishing a gun at this point. And I have a little kid in this car. I got my little cousin who's 3 years old in this car. He's closer to the streets. He pulled up and pulled the gun, and they ran upstairs, and that's 15 minutes later, he was gone.
Wow. And they didn't know him prior to that.
Yeah, they did. I mean,
did.
Philip was from, I think he was a By Yourself hustler, and when Snoop moved into the neighborhood, all the girls were attracted to him. It was over jealousy that Snoop was a cute guy. The new rapper had moved into the neighborhood, and this guy would roll up and down the street, brandishing guns, trolling him. Just hating. It was always a problem because of the women.
Wow.
Snoop wasn't even interested. He had a woman, but it was over the fact that I'm hating because you are in our neighborhood and you got all the girls.
That's crazy.
And we never seen that. After that, car chases going down. And I didn't get to the park. I had a kid in the car, so I had to turn around because I said, let me turn around. And 15 minutes later, it happened at the park. And we never seen that apartment again, ever. We never went on that block ever again after that. When that happened, then Suge had us on, we had them on in hide now. Right. And I rode right along with him. We were staying, Dre had a condo and off of Wilshire to Argyle. We stayed there. We were everywhere. Every little place. And then that's when we all moved out to Woodland Hills. That's when Snoop was at the Summit. Daz and I were at one of them places with the bed that comes out the wall. Wow. Corrupt was next door to us.
Okay.
So that's kind of when we started, when the trial is going on. He's still going through the preliminaries at this point. So by the time it hits, the court case hit, me and Daz and bought our house on Benton Way. Right. So when he started staying with us, but we went through the whole court thing in Woodland Hills, like the beginning stages. And Brian McKnight was his neighbor. He used to call the police on us all the time. Music is loud. I'm like, really, Brian? I don't like your music anymore because you keep calling the police on us. You're not doing anything. He lived right next door.
Yeah. That's funny. So what's the mood at death row now? Because I mean, now you got the superstar fighting for his life. Did y'all think, did you think that he was going to be convicted, or were you?
Nah, not with Cochran.
Okay.
We had the line.
So y'all were confident.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he didn't do anything. This man had caused this. I mean, it was going to happen. This guy was already. He was a bad seed from the neighborhood. They already had him going through crowded elementary recess time shooting with kids all around. So they knew what it was, and Snoop didn't go looking for this. It kept coming to him and his bodyguard. They had to do what they had to do.
Right.
It was going to happen eventually because this guy did not. It was jealous.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that with that trial and with him beating that, it shot his star that much higher.
It did. He was relieved, and he could work in peace at this point. Because if that's over your head,
right?
God, that's over your head.
But I'm saying his celebrity grew even more.
It did. I mean, it was already big. I mean, when he caught it caught the case,
right? And
they seen him at MTV, and they came to get him back behind stage. His celebrity was growing, but Snoop wasn't taking it to heart because he was inside. He didn't want it hurt. Like, I don't want to go away. Like, I'm here. Like, the people are loving him, but he's in turmoil. Yeah. He got mouths to feed.
And a random question now that I just thought about. So you rolling with Death Row, obviously Pyru's, and you growing up in 60s. At this point, you knew Big U, right? You knew him prior to that.
Oh, yeah, because now that Corrupt was part of that.
Right.
So now that Kenya and Corrupt are identified with hanging out with them, they are coming around. Me and Daz, remember the house I told you? I would allow some of the younger OGs to stay at our house. Daz would say, cool, because they were in the streets about to get harmed. They would come and stay at our house. Nicky Bam, rest in peace. Chico, he was a basketball player, No. They would come stay at our house in Silver Lake behind gates, safe. So we were all kind of helping each other at that point.
Okay.
It was love. Because they wanted to come over and, they see Corrupt and us over here. So now this is the doorway in.
So I'm going to ask you. So I'm curious. You knew Big U. What do you feel about when Big U said that he felt like if he was on the streets, death row wouldn't have happened?
Probably wouldn't have happened because,
so? Why do you think so?
Because it would have to go through him. He's running the streets at that point. Suge would have to go through him, especially if they're Crip artists on here. They would have to go through him, but I believe that it would have been.
But I mean, Suge is in Compton. In Compton, LA is way different. Politics is different, and then Snoop is from Long Beach.
Yeah, but that's the craziest man that's on the street. You can you try yourself. Them Rich Rollin', them boys have been controlling things, bank robberies, all that. They were in control. You still want their permission to do stuff because everything it's not gonna end right. So I believe that it wouldn't have happened. It would have had to go through him because he was the Looney Tune on the street. He's calm now. You see. Calm Big U, calm Hannibal, calm Eugene now.
He done got older now. Yeah.
Oh no, you didn't want that problem along. Oh God, you don't want that problem now, but you did not want that problem a long time ago because he's methodical. Very methodical.
But at some point he cultivated a relationship with Suge though, right?
Good friends.
Right.
Great friends.
Right.
Because Suge respected him, and it was a respect level.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like in the early 2000s, sitting in the car. I'd be in the back seat, me and P.D. Pablo, Suge, and Big U in the front. I'm like, golly gee, these two little knuckleheads. But they were just good friends because it was a respect level.
Yeah.
That's all you need is some respect.
Yeah.
Go so far.
So now Death Row is the shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. The rest of the world, we watching. I'm loving it as well.
We on top of the world.
Yeah. Even though I was Team Ruthless, but I fucked with Death Row heavy, So at this point, now you go to the Source Awards. Were you there at the Source Awards?
I wasn't there.
You wasn't there for that. So now that kind of, I guess, precipitated a little bit to this East-West thing. Mm-hmm. But in all reality, Puffy and Suge had a relationship prior. They were cool.
But let me take you back. Do you guys remember, what is it, the video called The Show? It was remember that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So you remember when that was filmed, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all traveled together. Biggie, Puffy, Snoop, Suge. We all traveled to Philadelphia to film that. Warren G, 5-footers, Nate. All of us were together. We were all friends. Suge was in a limo with them.
Right.
It was love. We filmed this great thing. So at that point, it was good. And then it went awry.
What do you think contributed to that? You know what I mean?
Like when I look at it, I think of, okay, so we never talked about Pac. So
we're gonna get to Pac because Pac hadn't come yet.
Yeah, but he's going through stuff. We're hearing about him getting robbed there with whoever did that.
Right.
We're hearing about the rape case. We're hearing about all the turmoil that he's in jail and nobody's getting him out.
Right.
So we're hearing Daz is writing him. Mm-hmm. He's probably one that, like I've said in many interviews, probably the only dog pound member that was writing him at that point because they're both Geminis. And Daz has said, that's my brother. He loved Pac. We're feeling sorry. We're picking up some of his pain at that point because who robbed him out there? Was he set up? We're thinking of the inevitable. Them niggas set him up. I mean, we didn't know, but of course we love him and we gonna kind of ride for him.
But did Suge have a relationship with him prior to that?
No, not really.
Okay.
Nah.
Okay.
He was an artist on Interscope.
Right.
So Interscope.
Snoop claims that he was the one that brought that relationship together, right?
Well, I mean, everybody has their different opinions. I mean, when Suge say it was the girl who he was married to. Snoop would say it was him. Everybody has their opinion, Right. We can't even say who, what, when, where. We don't know.
Okay. But we know Suge went and got him.
Suge went down there with David Kenner. And all I remember Suge coming back saying that they wrote something on a paper towel or something. Because he didn't go down there knowing he was going to get him at that point. But it was signed on some kind of paper.
Yeah.
And he brought that boy back and we were so excited. Me and Daz threw him. People say they threw him a party. We threw him the first party at our house.
Right.
It was a hot wing party.
Yeah.
That's the day that they were, you remember the song I Got My Mind Made Up? They had recorded that earlier.
Right.
Meth, all of them were at our house recording that. Pac came over 2 hours later, came up the driveway with his drop top, fly. I was so happy. I started, that was my boy crush at that point. And he pulled up and we had hot wings for him. Everybody, you had Meth, you had Spectre Gadget, all of them were in the house. It was all love at that point. We're love. He's out.
So what was your impression of Pac? Like, him being around, what was your impression and the relationship that you cultivated with him? What was that like?
He was different from them because Daz and all the boys, they were girl crazy. I tell people I remember when no girls were looking at any of them. And I remember the first time in Vegas when one fan said, "Oh my God, that was Daz." I'm like, really? For real? So Pac never changed. He never let the girls, he'd already had them.
Yeah.
So when I seen him, he was all about taking care of your home, taking care of your family, taking care of your woman. He was a man's man. And I said, maybe that'll spill over to them. Maybe they'll get off this bitches ain't shit thing.
Yeah.
Because they were heavy.
Yeah.
Bomb ass pussy. That was their life. And I'm like, guys, come on.
Let me ask you, did you maybe sense any, I'm going to say jealousy or competition when Pac came? Because it's like when Pac came, it was all about him.
Yeah, I mean, well, because he came, and before, I love Snoop to death, but seriously, when he came, he was equal or more, because it was always Snoop getting the big cars and Snoop getting this, and Daz and Corrupt were relaxing the fact that if he got a big car, they were fine with their Lexuses or whatever. It was never a person that Snoop was in competition with. Now we get Rolls Royces. Suge is gonna get one for him too. We're going to get apartments on Wilshire. Oh, he's getting one too. So now, of course, Snoop is going to, he was the big dog. Now he has to share the spotlight with him.
Were there ever any fallouts or conversation, or you can just sense it?
You could just sense it.
Oh,
you could just sense the fact that Pac was coming over here to take over.
Yeah.
But he expected 100% of loyalty.
Yeah.
If we all brothers and sisters, we roll together.
Yeah.
My beef is your beef.
Right.
Period.
Right.
And that was kind of the oath. We riding together. I'm on death row. So if I'm not fucking with him, you can't either.
Right.
That's how we roll. We did that with EazyE.
I was just getting to say, that was kind of what y'all did with EazyE.
We did that with EazyE. I mean, it wasn't our beat, but now we've adopted it.
I mean, that's usually how it go, though. That's how it go. You know, that's rule. That's just the rule. You know, if you go out with somebody, I've been out, and you could be associated with someone, not even necessarily super cool, but associated. But y'all stepped in that club together,
right? And
if something go down, he got a problem. Well, it's yours too.
Yeah, we have a problem, and that was part of the getting deeper in that. That was a fallout because once the the East Coast, West Coast, the kicking over the buildings, all that happened. All Pac wanted was complete loyalty.
Yeah.
It.
And so that's where the rift with him and Snoop started, because Snoop was kind of like, hey, I don't have no problem with them.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest with you, devil's advocate, that was mature of Snoop.
No, but then, but that was...
Because he's thinking it's not really a real problem. You know what I mean? And maybe Snoop had the foresight to see that, okay, you have an issue with this dude over whatever, and you're not even sure if that's what that is, but I can see that this is really going to get bigger. You know what I mean?
But Pac did have legitimate, he thought these guys knew they were trying to kill him.
Right.
He went to New York, and that was legitimate in his brain that
he
thought that these guys just knew that he was going to get robbed. I mean, maybe you can't say anything. Maybe just tell me don't come. But he in his heart of hearts, he felt like they knew something.
Right.
And he just expected, I understood his pain because I was rolling with him. I don't like him.
So let's talk about Yo Baby Daddy and Ambitions of a Rider.
Ambitions of a Rider.
When you heard that, you know what I'm saying? And Ambitions of a Rider and what's the other one?
I got my mind out, and I got my mind made up. He did 6 songs on there.
And Gangsta Party. So Daz doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's a very underrated producer.
And they needed to give him credit. I mean, it was an interview a couple weeks ago, and I think somebody asked Snoop who was the better producer, him or DJ Quick, and Snoop said, well, Dad's gonna get mad at me with DJ Quick. And then they asked him about Corrupt, and he said he couldn't answer that. Kind of pissed me off because he got to ride with Daz.
Right.
I'm riding with Daz.
Right.
He's better than all of them.
Yeah.
He was killing it. Okay.
Yeah.
He had 6 songs on All Eyes on Me.
Yeah.
Come on.
When you heard that, when you heard Gangsta Party and all of that, Ambitions of a Rider, what was your thought? Like, damn, baby, I'm proud of you. That shit is hot.
But no, we gonna take it back further. When he was doing on the Chronic, his beats over there, when he wasn't getting credit for Chronic 1.
What did he do on Chronic 1 that he didn't get credit for?
Him and oh God.
Because I know
him and Emmanuel Dean did something on there. They were just it was a snare. It was something. Dr. Dre was the overhaul, but they did add their things in there.
Right.
And then with Doggy Style, rolling down the street smoking Endo, and Jen, and another one, they did something on there and they didn't get credit for it.
Oh, wow.
Dre got credit. So Daz has been putting his foot in there.
Wow.
And he might piss me off a lot, but give bro credit.
Absolutely.
He is it,
Absolutely.
and he should have been up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who had 6 songs on All Eyes on Me? Who did that? None.
Now, what is your thought on Suge not really wanting to back Daz as a rapper, and really get behind Daz, given he put in all that work, both in the studio, on the beats, in the streets, all of that.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
Two America's Most Wanted, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the number one
Gangsta
song.
Party. Yeah.
Gangsta Party. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I could have answered that question a long time ago, but then when I seen Kanye's documentary, how Rock Nation didn't want to back him as a rapper, but as a producer, they want to compartmentalize you because I don't want you. We want you here,
right?
And we don't want you over there. We want you to have the money here. It might be a sense of we don't want to pay you all this money. We want you to do this, and that's it. This dude was multi-talented.
Right.
Why?
Did you feel like your loyalty was split? Did you kind of feel?
No, I'm riding with Daz at that point, and Suge knew that. He never questioned that.
So you was like, Suge, fuck you.
Yeah,
like,
because if I had a problem, I mean, if Suge owed Daz some money, the big bad wolf would go in and go get it. I'm going to get it. I would call him up. Suge calls me numbers. I call him up. I remember I wanted, after the Honda Accord that they all tore up, I said, I need me a car. I need me a new car. You guys have fucked my car up. Oh, Suge ain't doing this. I said, okay, I got this. I called him. I'm like, look, Papa, I need me a new car right now, okay? What are you going to do? And I'm not waiting, okay? I had a $50,000 check in 2 hours. I went in and got mine. If I needed the house we bought, hey, I need $150,000 advance on this house. I need it today.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, so Suge had that respect for you.
I'm going to ask
He respected
him.
you more than he respected some of the niggas
Absolutely.
over there.
but he knows I was handling business. I wasn't, he always used to tell me, anytime he said, can you remember beauty is only a temporary position, your intelligence is forever. Every time he used to see me, remember what I tell you, beauty is only temporary, intelligence, I said, I'm already getting mine. Right. He said, I know, I just want to remind you.
Right.
I got this.
So let's talk about what you were doing back then. So you styled all of the Dog Pound, most of the Death Row guys. So what we saw, that was all you. That was your touch.
Let's talk about the first video. Let's see was it rolling down the street and with Dad's on the bike. So the hockey jerseys. We did that. Me and a girl named Toy Crawford. Okay. We started bringing a product placement to them because they didn't know anything about product placement. Product placement is you go get some free clothes from people and you post it on there. Nobody knew about that. We brought that. We brought the hockey jerseys. We brought the college jerseys to them. When Carl Kanai is still my brother to this day, used to go pick up boatloads of clothes from him. So we would tell the boys, hey, if you wear this, you get a whole bunch for free. For real?
Man, Pac was a Carl Kanai fanatic.
Yes.
So I got so many like vivid pictures in my head of him and Carl Kanai.
That was your touch?
Yeah, we brought all that there. Now, Carl and Carl and them did that. That was him, strictly him and Pac doing those campaigns. But Carl was my buddy then.
Did you put Pac in the black thing with the strap on it?
Oh no!
You didn't put him in
but that somehow, some way that came. That was a mistake from whoever did that, because I read about that, but I didn't know that wasn't me.
Okay.
I was trying to get into, when Pac was really getting into the Versace thing. I would go to Vegas with him and Suge and study, like go with them and see where they're shopping at. And I would always, I dressed them back in the days. Let me get him. And this is when Kadada's in there. So Kadada's already a stylist. My girl's a stylist. So I'm trying to get my foot in the door too.
Yeah. Did you put Suge in the red suit on the Source?
No, only in a movie.
Okay.
No, only in a movie. I did all the replicas, everything from Straight Outta Compton. I did all that. We redid everything.
So let's fast forward to Vegas. That night in Vegas. Well, no, before that, 1995 March. Y'all get the news that EazyE passed away. Yeah. So even though it's this beef,
no beef at that moment. Daz was crying.
Really?
About it. We were all at my house watching the news. It was the same day. EazyE died around the same day that they had some big bank robbery. Some people with armored people. I remember watching the news that day, and then it broke. Tracy called me that Erica died, and life got real for us. Because remember, this is all fun and games. Eric's dead. Nobody meant for those words to go that way, or it hurt because he's dead now. Like, we were having fun, goofing around. We're kids, but he's dead. Daz took that and corrupt hard.
Wow. So they actually felt that.
They felt that pain.
Damn.
Because we really didn't hate him like that. We just having a good time trolling, but we don't want you dead.
Yeah. What was Suge's reaction? I mean, in that in real time, did he kind of feel indifferent?
He made some inflammatory comments.
Yeah, I'm saying before that, though.
Never got him. I mean, I got the sense that they just didn't like each other. It was something beef, but never got his feelings. I know Snoop was hurt. I mean, Dog Pound members, they were hurt because they had empathy. Yeah. Empathy goes far. This is fun and games, but we're not killers.
Right.
So we don't wish death upon nobody.
Right.
We trying to make music, have fun. They want to smoke weed, be around bitches all day long. That's their thing. They don't want nobody to die.
Yeah. At that time, what was Tracy's mind state, being that y'all were close?
Oh God, she was, when Eric died, oh God, she was broken up. God, that was, I remember, she's the one that called.
And especially given the circumstances, I mean, was she kind of like concerned, or, I mean, I would think she would have to be concerned.
From day one, she knew that something wasn't right. She called me from the hospital that day, and I was broken for her.
Wow.
We were all broken. I was broken for Evie.
Yeah.
I was broken for Miss Wright and Lil Eric and Erica. Because we were around Lil Eric and Erica at that point. They were with their grandmother a lot, and we would go over there and see them, and it was hurtful. Because that was one of the first, like, real deaths that we experienced.
Yeah, it was.
And we didn't know how to take that. Like, he's gone.
Yeah.
This is not real. We were just playing, you know.
Yeah.
You can't, he's not coming back.
Yeah. Did any of Death Row, I'm assuming, didn't attend any of the services or anything like that? I
know the Dog Pound didn't. You know, they wanted to stay.
Did you go?
No.
Okay.
Stay out the way, because it was still, you know, their homies are still.
Feelings and emotions are high.
Yeah, and that's the last thing we need to be around that, because that'd be takeoff season.
Right. So now, as we, you know, go back to Pac, were you there that day in Vegas?
I was there. Whenever Suge would travel to Vegas for a fight, he always gave me tickets to the fights. Always. So I was there. I brought Nate Dogg's fiance with me. Now, if you guys know Nate Dogg does not play about his woman, whoever.
I heard that.
Does not play.
I heard he was tender dick. Yeah.
Oh, he don't play about that. And they were going through something, so she hops in the car with me, ends up in Vegas. That nigga got wind that we were in Vegas, and Tupac and Suge was down there. He hopped in his motorhome van with his security guard and headed down there because he was on a mission to tear some shit up.
Yeah.
He arrived, and I remember we were coming up the elevator at the Lexar. Pac was coming down one way. Nate was going, what the fuck? Going off on her, and Pac had to calm him down. Like, bro, it's okay. She ain't supposed to be down here. God damn it, what?
Yeah.
He was mad, but tempers calmed down.
Yeah.
Everything was good. Pac pulled him over, talked to him, calmed him down like Pac does. It was all peaceful at that point. They got into, party mode at that point. I'm here with my girl. So the rest of the evening, it was Nate, his security guard, me, and Tasha, his girlfriend. And we were just going to make a party out of it. It came down to ticket time, and Suge informed me that I didn't have 2 tickets. I'm like, why? That's why I came down here. You said you always have tickets. Well, I don't have them, but when the fight's over, meet me down here at Valet Parking, and we gonna all go to 662 together, you know? So I'm like, all right, whatever. So we just kind of hung around the hotel. And then, of course, when the fight took place in there, they came out before they went up to change. Pac's chain was broken. It was some kind of scuffle, but everybody was mum about it. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because they're in groups talking, Buttrey, Heron. Pac is fiddling with this. Suge's over there, but we're all downstairs because you got to make your way back from there to get back to the Lexar. And it's a conversation going like, something happened. So I'm trying to get the pieces of what the fuck happened. Why is his chain broke? What is going on? But everybody's in this boy mode.
Yeah.
It's within them.
Yeah.
So Pac is like, all right, I'm going to go upstairs and change clothes because he's down there. The women are there. He's just still fumbling around. So when he comes back down with that damn jersey on. And I'm like, the fuck, you know? And if you guys, we on death row, you guys know that everybody had to wear bulletproof vests. Daz had one, Snoop had one, Corrupt had one, because they already almost got killed in New York. They shot up the trailer, shot my radio up, shot the trailer up. So now, wherever you go, it's wear your bulletproof vest, because they could have been killed in New York, in Red Hook, Brooklyn. So Pac didn't have one. But I'm like, and I had the Suburban at that point. Me and Snoop had a blue Suburban. I had a light blue Suburban, dropped on rims, bumping sounds. And Pac was like, nigga, where you get this car from? And at that point, me and Daz was bumping heads. It was like, he was saying fuck them. I was saying fuck them too.
Yeah.
Daz was out there with every kind of girl embarrassing me.
Yeah.
But not girls like up there. I'm like, dude, if you're going to mess with somebody, please mess with somebody.
Yeah, cheat up, huh?
Oh my God. It's below can I get the gum off my shoe? So I was mad at him already. So my mind is like, fuck him too.
Yeah.
So he's like, you got another car off that nigga? So we're laughing because he's thinking I'm pimping. You know, I'm not, but you hurt my feelings, so I'm going to hurt yours. So I had the car. It was bumping. Pac is on the side. We're clowning. Wear your bulletproof vest, Pac. Don't have to have one. We going to our house tonight. No. Suge said you're supposed to wear one. No, I don't have to wear one. We going to 662. It's our house. Mm-hmm. Women all around. His mind is shifted that way. Mm-hmm. We're still waiting for them because remember, we're going to ride up there together. We're going to follow each other. Mm-hmm. Nate Dogg is behind us because we're all in my Suburban. He's in the motorhome with his security guard. He said, man, let's go. Them niggas is with them bitches. They let them do that. We'll catch up to them, y'all. Fuck this. Because this girl she's riding with me.
Yeah.
Him and the bodyguard are there. So we take off to 662, park. And I remember I got into it in the parking lot with some kind of security. I don't know who it was because you're going to give me problems when I get to the door. Do you know who the fuck I am? Mm-hmm. So the guy was like something. I'm like, nigga, move out my way. This is my club. Move. So right when I get in there, Craig Mack is performing because Craig Mack is now with Death Row. He's performing. All you hear flavor in your ear. Mm-hmm. Nate goes in. Bodyguard goes in. But Nate did not notice that security guards are running out. Why are all the security guards running out? I know all the security guards. These are the ones just in suits. These are the cop ones. The ones that's dressed.
This is Reggie Wright's.
This is all Reggie's team.
Okay.
Reggie's team is running out. Mm-hmm. And stone face. Not making eye contact, not saying hi. Mm-hmm. Something ain't right. I mean, you had to see this to believe it. They're all running out. They're not saying hi to me. Something went down. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, Tasha, something ain't right. Nate's already in. I'm like, we got to follow them. Fuck that. Let's follow them. Mm-hmm. She said, okay. So her and I hop back in there, and I want to know where they're going because something ain't right. And I'm going to be nosy. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of tailing behind, and we start hearing sirens inside as you get closer. And I'm like, uh-oh. So when we hit that one corner, Koval, whatever it was, that's when you see the BMW is tilted over now. Mm-hmm. They're just putting up the yellow tape. Mm-hmm. How I know that? Because I almost ran over the cop. He was going to die that day because I'm going through the yellow tape of my Suburban because I see Gaddafi. I see all the outlaws crying. Mm-hmm. They're all. I'm seeing the light skinned one because you could visually see his face is red, mm-hmm. and the yellow tape's been put up. So my car makes it into the yellow tape, and I'm like, "What the fuck happened? What?" They say, they shot them. Mm-hmm. They're getting rushed to the hospital. They're gone at this point. Right when I'm pulling up, second ambulance is gone, but the yellow tape is just being put up. So we're sitting up there. I make 2 calls while I'm in this yellow tape. I call my mom first. Mm-hmm. Daz happened to be staying at my mom's house because, when he was in the doghouse, mm-hmm. he would always stay at my mom's house mm-hmm. with my daughter. And I said, Mom, Pac, Suge just got shot. Oh, my God. And then she yells to Daz, Suge, Mama, just got shot. And you used to hear him screaming in the background.
Okay.
He takes off the house. This is in Baldwin Hills. He takes mm-hmm. off my mom's house. I then call Sharitha. Mm-hmm. Sharitha's at her house, and she's there with the cop. Mm-hmm. What's the cop that she was dating? The cop who ended up getting killed.
Which one? That worked for Death Row?
No, remember the LAPD, the one, the cop that was in Suge's car when he got killed. The cop, she was dating the cop.
Okay.
She was dating the LAPD. Mm-hmm. He's there, and I call her, and I tell her what happened, and she says, "What? Is Arian in the car?" That was her only question, because Arian and her daughter had rolled down there with them in the back seat mm-hmm. to Vegas, but had got dropped off at her godmom's house. I'm like, no, Arian wasn't in the car. He's 3 years old at this point. She says, oh my God, I'm on my way there. So we're in the yellow tape. Understand this. I want you to you guys put yourself in this yellow tape, right? People are driving by, right, with music and stuff. Do you know we were getting threats for our life inside that yellow tape?
Wow.
People were saying, fuck y'all, that's what y'all get. Die slow. Everything you can think of. I'm thinking they're going to have empathy for us.
Was Pac still on the ground or they had
No, he's
taken
gone.
him? Okay.
Remember when I pull up the second, first, they're gone.
Okay.
The car's still tilted, the yellow signs are up, but we're still there. They're investigating. And we can't go anywhere. I wasn't a part of the entourage, but I made myself. Remember, I pulled my car up in there. And they were wishing death.
Wow.
I'm thinking they're going to have empathy. Oh, they're going to just tell us something. Oh, no, they were like, fuck y'all. Hope y'all die. Fuck Death Row.
Damn.
It was like car by car by car. So Tasha calls Nate. Nate finds out. We meet back at Club 66. Not Club 6. We meet back at the Lexar Hotel because we got to get our stuff out of there because Nate says that they trying to kill us down here. We got to get the fuck out of here. Nate had 245s tucked. He says, we get all the stuff you can at the room and let's go. He came down from the room, getting all our stuff. His 45s right here, ready to go. Because we thought that they were trying.
Yeah, you didn't know where it was coming from.
We didn't know
point.
where.
Yeah.
We thought they were killing Death Row people.
Yeah.
So he said, we got to get out of here. And we were already drunk. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, tired, ready to go to sleep. But we got to drive. So we're following each other out of there. Me and Tasha are so tired that every 15 minutes we're taking turns driving. We did this until we got into the Nevada-California line at that hotel that has the temperature gauge. And we fell asleep in our cars right there at the border.
Wow.
Because now we're safe.
Damn.
We're out of here. And I ended up taking off. They were still sleeping in their van. I took off, went back to L.A. That same night, the next morning, got Snoop's mother, his auntie. We flew back to Vegas. Kadada picked us up. Had a limo, picked us up got right in front, and we went straight to the hospital.
Did you guys, I'm assuming you thought that Tupac would make it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We thought he would. I mean, they were giving, when I seen, because they wouldn't let anybody in the room, the whole hospital was being controlled by Bloods. They wouldn't let, it wasn't no security, it was Bloods, Vegas, PD, no, they couldn't, the Bloods were handling all those doors, every door. Reggie's guys had everything on lock.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let nobody in the room. And my mother had made a basket up for Afeni, some kind of sympathy basket. Right. I gave it to her. We sat there, we prayed for him. They opened the door because he was in ICU, and I could see that he had been cut right here.
Yeah.
And to me, he was swollen. It didn't look like, I'm like, the fuck they said he gonna make it? He don't look like he gonna make it. Like, I got a glimpse of it because they wasn't letting us in. End up leaving, going back. Day by day, he's getting better. And I'm like, really? Getting better. On my way back out there Friday, going to pick up Moke and stuff, I think I was on the 110 freeway going back to the house to get my stuff, and they announced that he died. And that was so weird. Like, how? How did he just die? They said he was doing better. Like, that don't make no sense.
Right.
And hip-hop has never been the same.
Yeah.
I left hip-hop at that point.
Had you spoken with Suge during that time?
It was, nobody wanted to speak to nobody at that point. I just remember, like, everything falling out. Like me and Daz started going downhill. I mean, we already down, but really downhill because I resented him and I resented them. I resented them big time.
Why'd you resent them?
Because you didn't have Pac's back at that point. You know, like, he wanted friends, and everybody, it seemed like everybody was, going that way. Because
obviously you didn't, years later we found out how it unfolded, but in that time with the information you had, that's how you felt.
I felt that way. I felt like nobody had his back. Like, he was there. Of course we know, whatever, but all he wanted was family to have my back. That's all. Right or wrong. Just have my back.
So do you feel like that's when Death Row started to
it was done at
crumble
that point.
At that point?
I didn't want to go near there. It went to holy shit at that point.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same. Pac is gone now. He was Death Row. He's gone.
So what was there? So did you just separate from Death Row at that point? Or were you kind of still
it just, the war started happening at that point. Like, I mean, the war, like, me and Daz became, it was war.
Wow.
It was just like everybody had a war. I mean, he started writing songs on me. He did what is that, Retaliation Get Back album. She fouled on me. He turned my child on me. That was for me.
Oh, wow.
And then but I still love her. I guess that was for me. I was going to court. Suge would show up at court with me, tell the judge that he needs to put him in jail. Oh, it was a war.
So Death Row just started imploding. It just, everybody kind of turned on each other to a degree.
Sam Snead had already left. They had beat him up at the murder. When Snoop got exonerated, he got beat up. He never came back. Everybody was just, it was not the same.
Wow.
But I stayed good with Corrupt. Corrupt, out of everybody that, he always remained loyal. Suge always remained loyal.
Loyal to you.
To me.
Yeah.
Sharita always remained loyal to me. You know, because when I lost my mom in 2004, who rolled with me, you know?
Yeah. But, so where did you stand? Because at that point, everybody started beefing with everybody. You know, Corrupt is dissing Suge.
I got out of it
Daz
at that point. I was gone.
Okay.
I was, at that point, so after Pac and all that, my friends ended up getting me a job at Mecca USA because Daz and I are done now. So, you know, I had my own money, but now it was full-fledged, go get your own life because we are separated. We sold the house. My New York crew got me a job at Mecca USA.
Okay.
So I found myself between New York and LA working as a marketing rep. So I'm at Beyonce, Destiny Child concert, making them change clothes, putting on Mecca. I was the girl for Mecca. I was the face for Mecca out here. And that was my life right there. I'm like, I got my own world, got my own house, got my own identity. I've separated from them now. Now I'm building Kenya, the costume designer stylist now.
Right. So let me ask you this. So Snoop in 98, maybe 97, 98, 99, he comes to No Limit. Yeah. What was your thoughts on that? Like, wow. Okay.
It was no thoughts until I had a final thought when I had to save his ass. When they did that concert at Universal. You remember that?
Yep.
And you remember Reggie, his whole crew hopped up on stage and a fight ensued. Him and Daz and Corrupt, you know.
Well, that's backstage.
That was backstage.
It's backstage.
Yeah, but they ended up taking them to jail. And I was there on a date with a cornball. Okay.
So you went back to the cornballs.
I went back. I ended up telling him I got to go see what happened backstage. So I went backstage, and the police said that they arrested those three. So I went to the substation on the Universal lot, and I waited there for 3 or 4 hours. Right? Do you know No Limit soldiers showed up to retrieve their artist? Nobody. I'm waiting there by myself. I'm waiting for somebody to show up, somebody big. Who's going to come and get Snoop out of jail? Just Snoop Doggy Dogg. No. My homeboy Greg Cobb came, and we sat there. I told the officer, I'm like, let Snoop know Kenya Ware is here. Does he want me to stay and take him home and get him out? He came back. Yes, Snoop said, wait, please wait. I was the only one there, and anybody ever say anything different. They left him there after that Universal. It was a concert, the No Limit concert. I gave him a ride all the way back to Claremont. Took Superfly home, and me and Dad still had the house. We were in a dispute still, but he came back to the house, and I'm like, "Where were your people at?" And I remember Snoop said to me in that car, his words were, I'm going to ride with you till the wheels fall off. You came and got me. I mean, it didn't stick well, but I came to get him. Where was anybody? So I had ill feelings on No Limit because how you going to leave him here? Your representative, your lawyer, your baby mama, the homie, somebody should have came and gave him a ride home and got him out. How did Kenya do it? Why? How? I did that. So I didn't like No Limit after that. I don't know what happened, but he got left there.
Okay. Well, that's your perspective. That's your reality.
I don't know. I never know what happened.
Yeah, me neither. I mean,
I don't know what happened.
I wasn't there. Yeah. I mean, I've been with No Limit since 1995.
And I love you. Let me tell you something. Your Master P, I love that man because Chico, that man has done so much for Compton.
For sure.
And we were trying to get some of his shoes 3 weeks ago for one of the artists at the Nickelodeon.
I got you.
We wanted some shoes.
Yeah. Moving forward, I just hit me.
And
I got you.
C Murder, please let C Murder out. So that was just I don't know if Snoop had did. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they didn't know. But I was mad.
100%. That was what it was. Because after the incident, even though I wasn't there, I know exactly what happened. Everybody was scrambling because what it was is P and M. They snuck out because everybody had guns and shit. So they blended in with the crowd, allegedly had guns on them. So they blended in with the crowd when the police came. So they was trying to get away.
They didn't know. Yeah, because I didn't know what happened. I'm like,
yeah, they didn't even know where Snoop had ran to. Like they didn't know that.
The police got
him. They didn't know that till probably when they found out. You know, which he probably was already out by then.
Yeah, because he got out like it was like 4 hours later. He had
see what I'm saying? Exactly. So because Snoop was a little bit out of pocket, they told him to stay close to them. But he ran. But what it was is Snoop was like, nah, I'm good. These are my people. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So he separated himself. And that's when I think it was, who was it? Was it Trey? One of them, I forgot. Reggie had one of the niggas take off on him or whatever. Speaking of Reggie, what are your thoughts on Reggie?
Reggie, let me just say, we had a brief little something, but Reggie, you know what? Don't bother me. Yeah. Reggie never gave me no problems.
Right. Only reason I ask is because some people say he has the natural, I guess, proclivity to prevaricate a bit, you know, on certain things. But
I Reggie,
and I don't know Reggie
I just don't know how Reggie was everywhere. I'm trying. I said, Reggie, were you there? Because I figured I was everywhere.
Yeah.
And to some extent, I'm like, how do you get there?
Was he around a lot? Did you see him a lot?
I didn't see him like that. Marcus and Kenneth was the only ones that was with us all the time. Mm-hmm. Marcus and Kenneth was a LAPD, and they're the ones that were there all the time, unless they would tell him. But he wasn't at my house, Snoop's house. No, I mean, he was mostly at death row. But he had his officers that were everywhere.
Right.
But he was never there.
So I know Suge went down for his first stint. I think was in the late 90s, early 2000s, something like that. Were you in contact with him?
Yeah, because I think I almost ran over Suge's ex-girlfriend there. Yeah, pretty much. Death row at the second place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Keita Rock was there. Okay. Yeah, so I came up there one day. Oh, so his ex-girlfriend, Tammy, whatever, she was trying to get in contact with Daz. Everybody had a problem with Daz and called me up for the number. And I'm like, I don't give out numbers.
Right.
I'm not getting him. So she began to cuss me out. I'm like, all right, I'll come and see you. So I did. Went up to death row in the big old Bronco, and I told her to come down. And I proceeded to try to run her ass over in the parking lot. And Keita Rock, Reggie grabbed me. Keita Rock grabbed her, I guess. I said, you got the wrong one.
Wow.
If you got a problem with him, you go take it up with him. You don't call me and ask me for no fucking number. I'm not giving out no one's information.
Right.
Come on now.
Right.
Silly girl. So
So you was trying to run the fade, huh? Or,
hell yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's a fade if you're running somebody over.
Well, she needed to get ran over that day. I mean, you know, it was what it was, you know. Reggie. So I remember that happening. The second death row office, it was just different.
And so the second death row office was
this is really a third one because you had we're not going to say the Dick Griffey one on Cahuenga.
Right.
The 10900 was really the first across. It was right next door to Interscope.
Right.
Then they moved over there on San Vicente. And that one.
That's in Brentwood, the San Vicente?
No, that's right there, like by Miracle Mile.
Right. Okay.
Miracle Mile, Wilshire, we're in Beverly Center, the back of Beverly Center.
I got you.
Yeah.
Can-Am was like an unofficial office, wasn't it?
Yeah. Can-Am was. Can-Am was it, but it was Larrabee West first.
Yeah.
Then it was a Village Recorder was our first one. That's where they did the Chronic at. So Village right there on, because I went to high school 3 blocks up at Uni. So that was the first home. Then it did Larrabee East, Larrabee West, Village, and then Can-Am.
So was Reggie running death row at that point, or was it
It was
Hutch?
him and Miss Chalet.
Okay.
Reggie and Miss Chalet ran it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did Big Hutch come in, and wasn't he running it for a stint too? From Above the Law. Code 187.
Who? He was running death row?
I believe so at a point. When Suge was locked up, I believe.
When was the era where Left Eye and Corrupt and all of them were at death row?
Yeah, that was
weren't they on the cover of like The Source?
So that Foxy Brown and Corrupt, that's gone. So that's when he got with Fatima, the girl, the second girl. When Foxy was there. That was when Foxy was there, right when Biggie got killed. So that was that. She that came along. Left Eye came along when she had that second group. Black. What is the girls? Black.
Black.
Yeah.
Black.
So that's around that time. But that was after. That was a few years after.
Yeah.
That was like 97, 98, 99.
I feel like Corrupt was running things for a minute, wasn't he?
Daz used to be the president. Corrupt was the president. Everybody was the president.
Okay, that's probably the time that.
I just remember this. I mean, I don't remember if it was the source, but I remember that magazine.
How I know that can't be he was running Death Row because I just found some paperwork that I got CC'd on in 1998. Death Row logo. And who was running Death Row at that point. Reggie's name, Michelet's name, it was some lawyer's name, and I got CC on it because it was written to Daz. Okay. And they CC'd me on the letter, and that was in 1998. His name wasn't on there. That was all the people that were running Death Row.
Okay.
All right, I got an interesting question. This has always been on my mind because I don't buy into the conspiracy theories. But there was, so there's been a lot of interviews, right? There's the whole New York Death Row East Pac and the T-shirts.
Yeah.
And then there was, I want to say Sebo was saying that he was, because Sebo was on All Eyes on Me. I'm from Sacramento, but he was like, Pac is going to do a Machiavelli Records and sign Sebo to like, was Pac leaving Death Row? Was that?
I don't think so.
Where does that stand?
When people say he was leaving Death Row, Pac was happy at Death Row at that point. I think he was branching off to be his own boss, maybe to open up a second part of it, but I never got the just that he was leaving completely. Yeah. I never got that because I got the fact that, all right, Snoop and them are over there and they're not really dealing with me. My only eyes and ears is with Suge right now. He's been the loyal one to me. So I can't, I just, my heart of hearts tells me that he was going to stay down as long as he could because this is the same man that came and got you when Jimmy Iovine left you. This is the same man that had a Benz for you waiting and had you in an apartment. Gave your mom and your sister and the kids money and all that, I wouldn't leave. I would figure a way to be as loyal as I can. You know, like I feel like Daz. He pisses me off a lot, but I was around some history. I'm gonna be loyal to him.
Right?
Ain't nobody gonna fuck with him. I can fuck with him, not nobody else.
Yeah.
So your loyalty just goes like it's gonna go to the end, till the wheels fall off.
That's old school loyalty. I think that's just how we were. Our generation was like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's the same thing with me and No Limit and P. And that's the thing. People always be like, "Oh, well, Court, he gonna stand up for P regardless." But you know how it is.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. Like even in person, I mean, in public.
Right.
I mean, shit, P could be dead ass wrong. It don't matter.
But that's my people.
I'm going to stand with now that's behind closed doors, and vice versa. I might be dead ass wrong in front of the world, but he going to stand with me. Behind closed doors is like, look, nigga, you know that you fucked up. That was on you.
That's how I feel about a Corrupt, really. I give Daz too. And I back up Suge. I mean, Snoop is different, but, I'm going to ride with certain people.
What's the relationship with you and Snoop now?
Nothing. I mean, Snoop and I used to be close, but time has passed by. It's really nothing. It's everybody's went on their own route. Everybody does their own thing. I wish them well. But
when's the last time y'all haven't spoken in a long time?
I talked to Daz and Corrupt. I just moved. Daz moved my daughter's stuff. We're still Corrupt. Talk to him all the time. Suge calls me still. Everybody. Snoop is just different. I mean, I would expect it not to be, but it is different.
A lot of time has passed too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that.
Now I lived in Atlanta. Now, granted, from 05 to 13, I lived in Atlanta. That was my dog down there.
Yeah.
It's just when I came back here, people are different in their own towns.
Yeah.
But Atlanta was great.
Do you remember Whack 100 being around?
Never.
Okay.
Never. I think I had a conversation with him years ago because I think he was asking like who I was, and I asked him, "Who are you?" Because I've been around, bruh. And I know who's what, when, where. I've been around from that beginning. I was around. Suge gave me a birthday party in 2004. Where were you then?
Wow.
I've been doing this. When Death Row is crumbled and done, I'm still rolling with them. I'm still around them. I'm still Dads still come to my son's birthday. That's not his son. We're still family. I've never seen that dude a day in my life. And again, we had an inner circle. You had this first tier, second tier, and third tier. Maybe he was a third tier. But right here, this family, when we rode on planes in first class, Buntry, Lip Dog, Jake, Heron, that was that tier.
Yeah.
Face was there too. Our homeboy Face, he was a mob. then they had people over here, and it goes back down. I'm sure it was a lot of homeboys, but they weren't in the family circle.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't attend family day. We had family day at Dr. Dre's house on weekends, or at Snoop's house. I've never seen him there. I've never seen him on Christmas Day at Suge's mama house. I've seen Jodeci there. I've seen Mary J. Blige there. I've never seen him there.
Okay.
A Mother's Day event, I've never seen him there. Family events, never.
And this is as far back as you saying, what, 2000?
Should take it to 2092.
Okay. Well, from 2000. Okay. Because I think he said he came around early 2000s.
Okay, so I got back in 13. 2013, I was going to 05. I was still around there.
Okay.
Suge, I remember we used to, I remember back in, what was that? That might have been 2002. We're at the Beverly Hills Hilton. We had a meeting there, and I remember that's the first time I figured him and Bones didn't like each other, because Bones was there eating, and I thought they were going to get into it in 2002.
Wow.
So this goes back, because we were all in there having a meeting, so I didn't see him then.
That's funny you say that, because my next question was, I'm curious, being that you lived through the era, and you were there and you witnessed a lot, what are your thoughts on both movies, All Eyes on Me and Straight Outta Compton?
I worked on Straight Outta Compton, so it was and I was there. That's the first time that I really got to know Bones, because they hired him as the coordinator. Bones was nice. We always, for some reason, if it's a gang movie, they hire him and they hire me, and we end up working together.
Need a liaison.
Yeah. He was on King Richard, the movie that Will Smith just fucked up. Me and Bones were there.
Right.
Coordinating that. So Straight Outta Compton was great, but Suge, they had us on lockdown every day. And I knew Suge wasn't going to do nothing, but, it was a war. They had us on lock.
Were you there that day that happened?
So people get it misconstrued, okay? Straight Outta Compton was already wrapped. The production was wrapped.
Right.
They were doing a Chrysler commercial at Tams that was associated with Straight Outta Compton, but it was not the movie. The movie was already done.
Right.
It was in a can being edited.
Okay.
This is for the Chrysler commercial.
Okay.
That all this stuff happened. I was there every day, and the first day we were in Compton, shoot out there. We had the Homeland Security guard, because Suge was putting it down.
He was putting pressure on him.
Yeah, and I laughed because I knew, I'm like, he's not gonna bother y'all. Yeah. But you can't say nothing. I'm just like,
right. So is that the type of guy Suge is? You feel like he's, because you get mixed reviews. Some people say he's a teddy bear. He's not really on that type of shit.
He was just, his feelings and emotions was involved, because Suge did not know the business side of the movies, that I can do a movie on Death Row Records because I was there, and I don't have to include you in it. He didn't understand that they could do a movie and tell their perspective of you and don't have to pay you. He didn't know that.
He didn't get that.
He didn't get it.
Their movies. So he felt like he was being taken advantage of.
Exactly. And he just did not know. I just feel like in his heart, he did not know that they could still do a movie and tell their perspective and tell your part from their point of view. As long as you can prove that you were there and you lived it.
Yeah.
And he didn't get it.
Did you know Terry Carter?
No, I didn't really know him.
Okay.
Didn't know him. But I was like, that's kind of random. All this happens, and he ends up, that's great.
So once Suge, this is somebody you became close to and you spent a good majority of your life with, and you made history with. Life. Yeah. What were your feelings when he got sentenced to all that time?
You know what I was doing? I was being smart. I was trying to do the Death Row movie. I had some lawyers draw up some paperwork, and this is when, because remember he had the cigarette and he put the cigarette in the tree and said, "I'm gonna come back." He thought he was gonna get out. So when he first,
I remember that.
Yeah, you remember that.
I remember that.
So when he first went in, I took a meeting with his two sisters, because those are my girls, and I'm like, look, I want to do the Death Row movie. This is when Suge is this in 3 weeks. I brought paperwork. I had lawyers draw it up. I had interest at Warner or Sony, one of them. Everything was drawn up, and they were like, okay. Suge told me, Kenya, we can do it, but I want to be out when we do it. I'll let you do it. They just didn't trust a woman, because I came to him before anybody was coming to him with paperwork why he's this in, but he thought he was going to be out right away.
Got you. So you wanted to do not a Suge Knight movie, but a Death Row movie.
I wanted to do the Death Row movie, but it's his at that point. So I wanted to tell it from that perspective, and I got to get the blessing of him.
Because I heard that he was kind of messing that up because he was doing deals with everybody for,
he did.
for the
and
rights.
That's kind of why I think at that point he was trying to make a deal with somebody that was bigger than me, but I could have got it off the ground.
Because I think Matt Barnes tried it. I think even Wack tried to do it as
everybody.
Well. Yeah,
they all tried to do it.
Ray J, it was a line. Yeah,
and I had already been trying to get the ladies thing off the ground, but I said, you know what? Forget the men. I'm gonna tell the women's perspective because I'm still dealing with all of them still.
Yeah.
So that's when the ladies came up, and it was we went to Universal. They had us, but it was so much secretive pushback from these men. You have no idea.
No, I actually was going to get to that. So at what point do you we know you styled for some of the biggest celebrities and still do, and you've been costumer for some big productions, big TV shows as well.
Hunger Games, Big Mama's House, Fast and Furious Part 5, Three Stooges. I can go on and on and on.
Yeah, and you got a couple series that on Netflix or
I got Kevin Hart, Kevin Hart, and Wesley Snipes. Did King Richard, Straight Outta Compton. I did the LA-based stuff for the Tupac movie. I've done it. I've done it all.
So we didn't get the opinion on the Pac movie though.
Horrible. Pac movie was not good. I mean, my opinion, because I love L.T. Hutton. My opinion on that is that they should have. Like, my thing is this. I said, LT, why didn't you not know that I was there? You're telling the story, and I was one of the main. When you get this scene at Vegas, where was I? I said, what was all this at? Where's the turmoil? It wasn't true. Like, you guys are telling the story, and I love LT, but you got to let the movie makers do movie makers movie. You can't. The rappers and singers and producers can't come and do a movie.
Yeah.
I stay in my lane. I'm not going to rap tomorrow.
Yeah.
On nobody's album. So I felt like he gave it his best shot, but rule number one, you did not involve the key players. The family should have been there. Everybody should have been there, and you ran and did it, and that's why it came out not so good.
Right. Because Affinity had a problem with it too, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah.
She was like suing them.
Yeah. Because you have to get the family's blessing. Like with the Ray Washington film I'm doing, I've been friends with his family since I was a kid, who started the Crips. Right. And the first thing I did, because his nephew had... I was best friends with the nephew who did 30 years. Soon he got home after doing 30 years. I went to the family, the living mother, who's going to be 92, the brothers and all them. And I had life rights signed over. I did the right thing. I didn't do no crazy nonsense.
And that's something you're doing with Big U, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys, so how difficult was that? Well, let me ask you this, because you kind of said something interesting. You made the transition into executive producing and producing content films. How difficult is that, you as a woman and not only a Black woman?
I have no idea. Remember I did the first documentary with the Snoop thing, The Stars. And I was bumping heads with Daz the whole time because men don't think that women should be in that position. I got my own production company, and I brought my own money to the table, and still it doesn't matter. They still think that a woman should be sitting in the back.
Wow.
Really. So then you got the ladies of death row, and that comes up, and I know the pushback. I know these people talk. They're gonna tell you. I know who was pushing back. I know who was secretly talking and doing that. I said they were very defensive over the ladies of death row. I'm like, what do you think they're gonna tell you? Tell all your secrets? They don't know.
Yeah.
But they're so afraid of women to come in and do their job. They are so afraid.
Yeah.
I got more pushback from men.
Wow.
I mean, and men in the circle, not not like you or you.
Yeah.
Men who are supposed to be your friend.
Right. Oh, I got you. Wow, that's crazy. Just some hating shit.
Yeah, and then with the Raymond Washington, they won't say nothing.
Yeah,
because
I've been hearing about that. I've been hearing it's a lot of
it's a lot of chatter, but they ain't chattering to me because I'm now finally I'm in a safe zone. But then Big U is the one that they're like, God, he gets it from, and I don't see it. Like they're like, okay, the woman can do that, but you can't.
That's crazy.
You didn't come from the east side. You didn't come from the west side. You didn't come from this street. I'm like, but what if Michael Mann comes up?
Right.
Michael Mann was over here living in another country, and he wants to do this movie. It's okay. Michael Mann comes and does it, but your own people can't do a movie.
Think about that. I mean, think about the hypocrisy with that. Because if you think about Colors, Dennis Hopper.
Yeah. But that was okay.
The fuck does he know about?
That was a #1 movie. They say they all were okay with it.
We do it to each other.
Yeah.
You know,
your own people.
Well, even the Hughes brothers aren't LA dudes, and they did Menace to Society.
Right.
And it was okay.
Right.
It's okay. Even I'm in a safe zone with that. But Big U, he gets it from every damn direction. How? Wow. I'm like, I mean, I thought Ladies of Death Row, I was the one. You know, like now this one, okay, it's okay, she can do it, but you can't. I'm like,
wow. So where are you at with those projects with the Ladies of Death Row?
So Ladies is always going to be there, you know. Okay. But you know, I finally understood why it was so much pushback, because Snoop was trying to do something behind over here, and I was already moving in 2015 before them. So it all came out that was probably the pushback because of him.
All right.
And that was a pushback.
Okay. So Snoop, he didn't want to see that happen?
No, I'm sure. Of course not.
Oh wow.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so. I think that, and I think it's just.
But at that point, what power could he have to veto that?
It's nothing at all. I mean, the ladies they're still there. It will happen at some point. You just, what we're dealing with now is just money.
Okay.
When you get the budget, you can do it.
I got you.
That's it. I mean,
but with Raymond Washington, you guys are
we're moving forward. But what we're asking for that same budget that Snowfall. So you got to. We're in a different element now. Yeah. We're pandemic babies now. So people are not frivolous with their money at that point.
Right.
They want to know that they know that they know. Am I getting my money back?
Yeah.
Because we might be back in the house again.
Yeah.
So I get why it takes long. I mean, Dave Chappelle, look at him. Everything he used to do, they would push it back. So you got to keep on fighting.
How difficult was it navigating there's a lot of politics that come with that Crip shit and with the Raymond Washington shit. So, I mean, you have the industry shit, but then you got family and street shit. So I'm assuming that shit was just.
You had to appease everybody. And, like I had to go to the family first. And then I had to go to his friends that were a part of his circle at that point and appease, make them bring a couple of them in and let them help. And then you go to the kids and you got to make everybody feel. And then you have to go over to, I went over to where he was killed at, because that's over there, and did something for all of them and made them feel included, because I have a documentary and a series. Okay. So I included them. You have to incorporate people.
Yeah. I'm curious. Did they ever find out who killed Raymond Washington?
I don't think so. I mean, they say it was somebody he knew, but the mother and them, they told me a story that after it was done, they had put a name on him, and the person came to the house and was like, "It was not me. Don't put that on my head. It wasn't me." Found out it was not him. So they don't know.
Okay. So
unsolved.
I'm curious. What are your feelings and thoughts on Snoop owning Death Row at this point?
I thought about that before I was coming here, because I wanted to give my true feelings. The one thing I'm mad about now is I'm mad the fact that I cannot hear my dog food album. They've all been snatched down from all the streaming sites. And my thing is this: I hope that these people are going to get paid, because Daz is counting all his money. And when you took all the content down, Danny Boy was talking about it this morning. I heard.
I saw that.
Yeah, I saw it too. You took down all this. These people are getting these residuals, and now it's gone. And my hope is that you do right.
Let me ask you: was it taken down to re-release it?
Taken down because they said that he's going to get his own app, going to get it, but it's taken down. But the money has to go somewhere. And my concern is only this: for Daz and Corrupt's purposes, what's going to happen to them? Because they've always been pushed to the burner. And Daz was very reluctant to go forward with this. He's moving forward with it, but
Daz had to sign off on it.
He had to sign off on whatever, whatever they do.
Okay.
And Corrupt. But
would it be safe to say that Snoop would take care of them, though? Because I saw Snoop say that he was doing this and he got Death Row to make sure that the people who weren't properly compensated, I think he may have spoke of Warren G, just basically
Warren
his
G
crew.
Wasn't on Death Row, so how Warren G was Def Jam.
I guess whatever he helped write, his writer's credits or whatever. So whoever was he wanted to make sure that the people who didn't get taken care of at first are getting taken care of now. Do you believe that to be true?
No, but I want to see. I love. Okay. I want to see Daz and Corrupt get their just due.
So let me ask you,
nobody else.
What's your apprehension? I mean, do you not trust Snoop, or you think that he just?
I mean, this is the business, you know.
Okay.
I mean, the Supremes trust Berry Gordy. I mean, he was probably nice, but when money separates relationships, it doesn't matter. You can love me all day long. Money separates family. Families kill each other over money. I mean, look at a lot of families out there. Right. They wait for the elders to die to collect the money. Right. It doesn't matter if we're friends today. What about the money?
But devil, let me push back, just playing devil's advocate. But is it safe to say that Snoop is maybe in a place where he's not thirsty for money like that? And Daz is his cousin. Corrupt is his homeboy. You know, I mean.
We all want to see. I mean, I guess that's that we're all sitting up here. We have popcorn and we're watching.
Okay.
And I wish nothing but the best for anybody, as long as the people like RBX and all these people who have been hungry all these years, you know, who needed help. Rage has been going through, she's part of the Ladies of Death Row Records. She's been going through illness and she didn't have health insurance. So I want to see these people get taken care of. I want to see that they are living the lifestyle that their bosses are
So what
living.
you're saying is you hear the talk, but you want to see the action.
Yeah. We heard it from Death Row and we really lived it.
Okay.
We heard it from Suge and them boys, they would never have been here without him. We heard it. Everybody had nice houses. They had cars. They got to go stay at the best hotels. Anything you wanted. The second and third tier people were getting it.
Right.
They were getting the Cristal, shutting down Monty's. We seen that.
But that was under Suge's.
I want to see Snoop. He's the boss now. I want to see Death Row do the same thing as it did, how Suge took care of his artists, because they didn't want for nothing.
Okay.
I want to see it. I want to see it with my eyes. I don't want to hear about it. I want to see.
Okay.
The truth is in the pudding.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, am I right?
Yeah.
Just wanted to see.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair. So I'm going to bring it now to current. I just want to ask you about a few current little things. You're a stylist. You're a fashionista. You know, I might need to holler at you because I really can't dress worth the shit. What here recently, Russell Westbrook. Did you see what he had on at the Met Gala? Yeah, was it a kilt or a dress?
I think it was a kilt.
Okay, because he looked like to me, like a 17th century magician or some shit.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the fashion nowadays, and why do you think, at least in my opinion, I feel like the fashion nowadays, and it could be because it's high fashion, but it's somewhat emasculating. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they're doing that. A lot of labels are. I mean, they have doing it. If you go to the runway shows, there's a lot of guys that might have their booty cheeks out, or they have tight pants on. They have a bikini on. Designers always push the line, but it's your choice to put your body in there. Yeah. And I'm not with that. I would never take a man and take him there like that. Like I worked on Big Mama's house and we have put fat suits on Martin Lawrence, you know, but that's pure comedy.
Yeah, that's costume.
That's costume. No,
these
comedy.
niggas is trying to get dressed and think it's drip.
Put it this way. You won't see me doing that. I work with New Edition, working with Bobby, working with all of them, and I would never ever do that to them.
So you being in the fashion industry, what do you think that is? Like, do you think that's some type of conspiracy to emasculate
somebody? They're listening to somebody. Definitely, but somebody's in their ear like, you should do this. You will look so good. Your numbers are going to go up tomorrow. You're going to be the most talked about person on there. People rely on all that. But think about it, brother. That picture's going to sit there after all the hype is gone and your grandkids are here. They're going to get to see you in a little kilt.
Yeah. So niggas is just different nowadays. Could you imagine somebody whispering to Tupac or Daz saying, "Hey man, you know what I'm saying? Take them khakis off and put this dress on."
That was a liar. They wouldn't have done anything.
They probably would have fucked whoever upset it.
You got smacked around.
So do you think it's a shift in mentality of today's men and just popular culture?
Definitely. It's a whisper in the ear that this is in. You'll be the it guy. Somebody's in that ear telling them that this is okay. And to each his own. Like when RuPaul does it, he can do it. That's his world. That's
his shtick.
That's his shit.
Yeah.
Bro, you got to stick to the plan. They're not sticking to the plan. That's not the plan.
Yeah.
He actually came out and said that outfit gave him the swagger that he he owned it. Oh. Yeah, he said it gave him the swagger that he needs to to be there at the Met Gala.
I can go with like when Future came out, he had the shorts on. I can dig that. Like, I mean, he's still in his element. He still got the mask on. He's still stuck to himself. We're not. He didn't reinvent Future.
Yeah.
We have the mask on. He's still a fly guy. He kept it there. But you just went.
Yeah, you went all the way left.
To his own.
What do you think about T.I. doing comedy?
Tip. Okay, I love Tip, right? So I gotta. I want to know why he's leaving rap. Like, is he leaving rap?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he's just
expressing
himself.
I tell him to have fun.
Yeah.
Clifford, have fun. Clifford's a good person. Anytime you call upon Clifford, he's there with his. But goddamn, you shit. No, so if
don't forget the big words,
Yeah, expeditiously
and gratuitous plug of my libation of.
And that more power to the people with him. I mean, because he's enjoying, and at least it's something positive.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's.
I'm all for it.
He's making people laugh. So
like
if you're doing something if I'm going to do something like with the birth, it's for the family. It's to tell a story. And then you look. I'm doing the birth of the Bloods too. The birth of the Clit. That's the next thing up. I'm giving them their platform too. It's not just the Crips. It's the Bloods too.
Right.
They need to tell their story. King Baba Louie. I want them.
Shout out to King Baba Louie.
The Crips can tell it, but we want to. And then some guys ask me, well, what about some in New York? Why not?
Right.
But let's keep it positive. We're going to tell the story of how it was supposed to be. We're not going to glorify any gang members to make people. We want to tell these kids. The whole thing is to tell the kids where it began.
Exactly. Yeah.
And how the baton got passed to this person and what happened.
And how it went wrong as well.
Because it's going to lead up to what went wrong, but then we have to bring it back around like you guys.
Now you look for a solution.
That's where we're at.
Solution and redemption. Yeah.
We don't want no glorification, but we want to give. If you're looking at the mafioso movies and they're telling the story of every cartel in America, well, why can't the birth of a Crip have their platform?
Right.
It's not gonna. It's a story to be told. Raymond died at 29 years old. His mother, I talk to her every morning. She dreams about him.
Was he 29? I thought he was younger than that.
28, 29 years old.
Wow. Okay.
He's a baby. He wasn't even 30.
Wow. Okay.
79. So let's see. 27, 28, somewhere around there. He wasn't even close to 30.
Wow.
And she still dreams about her baby. And I tell her before she leaves this earth, we just gotta have it. Series, movie, I want it all, but I want everybody to eat off of it. I tell all the boys, music guys, it's enough for everybody to eat. Let's just make jobs and just make everybody. Does Daz want to do music? Does Snoop want to get down with it? Does Corrupt does P want to finance it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying.
It
doesn't matter who it is. I mean, it's no color found. It's not a blood or it's a love thing because remember it all started off. It wasn't blue or red. It was the Crip, and it was not.
Right.
It was no, because the Bloods were birthed from the Crips. They left and started their own.
Right.
So
right.
It was not a color line.
It's funny how a lot of people don't really even know the history of what they claim. You know. Yeah, because when you tell people, some people get offended when you say that. When you say, well, the Crips were kind of birthed. Because of this, but if I'm recalling it correctly, what it was Raymond and Baba Louie and some of his friends, correct?
Well,
and what it was is
did you guys ever watch Bastards of the Party?
Yeah, that's Bone.
That's Bone. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think what it was, they wanted to be baby Crips or something like that, or was it with Munson? It was with Craig.
Well,
Munson
it started
somewhere.
out. So we start before Baba Louie, before all of those people came, you had Raymond and his best friend, Craig Craddock. Craig Craddock was killed at 19. They came up with that. They wanted to be the Baby Avenues.
Baby Avenues.
Munson. I talked to Munson all the time. Munson was the man over there, the muscle man.
Yep.
And, he wanted to be one, but they got into it. It was a dispute over a girl of his older brother. They got into it, and he started the Crips after that.
Right.
But it wasn't all the Tookie and all them didn't come in because they didn't start forming the East Side, West Side, and Compton to like 72, 73. So you don't even see these guys. We're still in 68. We're over here 68 with Munson and them when we have a 14-year-old, 15-year-old that's trying to hang out with him.
Exactly.
So we get with Barefoot Pookie, then we bring in the Batmans, but we don't bring in Tookie and Baba Louie and them until, once they're in high school. They're over here. The West Side and East Side is being formed.
Right, because Baba Louie at that time is in Compton.
Right? And Bobby Louie is a Crip.
Right, exactly. And then, but Munson and them are in L.A.
Munson's good. After him and Raymond got into it, he never seen him again.
Right.
Craig was in the prison system and never seen Raymond again in his life.
Right.
So he ended up in the prison system and got into the whole bodybuilding.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see that.
But, all those guys.
Yeah.
I talk to all of them. Jimmy Lavenders, the Barefoot Pookie and I talk every day. Yeah. He gives me every ounce of information. So
and Jimmy Lavender is the bishop, right? Yeah.
And
OG. How old is Jimmy now? He's got to be about 70 or something.
Yeah, all the guys are like late 60, 70.
Yeah.
And they're all so helpful. Got the found the LAPDs that were patrolling during that time.
Yeah.
There's still like a Rosie Greer that took Raymond under his wings. I mean, it was so many things. And people find it hard. Is a girl doing that? Yeah, because the family, I've been around his family since the 80s. I've been around their family, his brothers and all of them. So why not? I said, I think 100 fams behind me qualifies me. I've said in Video Village a million times, I think I can do this.
I think you can too. And I think you'll do it at a high level.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you one last question. And it may be a little, you can answer it or not. Maybe a little messy and incendiary, but fuck it. I'm going to ask you, right? Because you say what the fuck you mean. I like that.
I don't care. I mean, it is what it is.
What is your opinion on the BS that's currently going on with Big U and Whack?
I'm gonna ride with Big U all day long, but I feel like with Whack, stay in your place. Like, just stay in your place. First of all, stop talking, keep Nipsey's name out your mouth because Nipsey is not here anymore. It bothers me when they speak on people who are gone. I don't like people speaking on Pac, none of them. Don't speak on anybody, but you're out of pocket for all the things you're doing. This is not, it's not all this clout building. I'm going to get this podcast and be bigger than yours. Big U got the biggest podcast, is doing numbers, is doing millions. World Star is doing great. Okay, on top of that, he's doing so many good things for the community and the kids. I would like that dude, match him. If you want to be him, match him. Right. Because I guess you want to be him.
You think that's what is precipitating from?
I feel that way. That you want to be this guy. But the thing about if you want to be him, then you're going to have to take all the things he done been through his whole life. Can't be him. Right. Wear your own shoes and stop going up against people. We have enough black on black issues going on there. We need to show these young people peace.
Exactly. And that's why I take umbrage with it. I don't know either one of those gentlemen personally.
Big U is the sweetest.
I've met Big U I think twice.
Yeah.
But that's the problem I have. We're all older. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the fact that you have such messiness and divisiveness on social media, and then these other social sites pick up on it and they promote that negative shit. Yeah. That's the problem I have. Now, whatever personal issue, I can't speak to that. Yeah. Take that shit to real life. But Big U's
not the one. I can tell you this because I've known him his whole life and I'm very close to him. He's all about that peace. He's a grown man. He's trying to wrong his rights. Right. And trying to, did I say it right? Trying to right his wrongs. Trying to right his wrongs from the past. Right. He's a good person, and I respect the fact that he goes back and helps those babies because we have to save them. Yeah. Leave it off the social media because y'all look at this. We old now. Yeah. We old now.
That's what I kind of be saying. I mean, listen, I ain't going to say I'm old, but I'm a year older than Whack. If they calling you uncle, I'm a year older than Whack. Yeah. So I just feel like we at a point to where, listen, I understand if we have disagreements, but there's a way you go about that. I think just running to Clubhouse and social media, that's like teenage shit. And I don't even see the teenagers doing it, if you think about it. No. It's like the 40+ club is the ones running with the bullshit. Why? And I'm like...
And they're falling behind what we do. These kids, crazy. They're like, oh, they're
doing that?
That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So the youngsters is looking like, oh, shit, this is how you do it. This is how you get your numbers up. This is how you get known and go viral and all of that shit. But that's a deadly game, too.
a lot of people aren't here to speak about it anymore.
Yeah,
and we have kids.
Yep.
We have a lot of people, grandkids.
Yeah.
Stop the violence and increase the peace. And it starts
Help
with
your community.
these clubhouses and all these things. Cut it out.
Yeah.
You guys cut it out.
Yeah.
Let's do something. We can come up with ideas like Master P.
Yeah.
I respect the fact that he has helped Chico or Howard every year in Compton. When I first got here, they were giving out food. I respect that man.
We do that every year.
Yeah.
We do it every year.
It was a blessing to see that.
For 20 years. For 20 years. And not just Compton, but we're in Louisville. We're in New Orleans.
Yeah.
We do stuff
He's a
all
good
over.
person. So whatever, if I felt any kind of way about that Snoop thing, man, that was transcended because this man has raised his kids. They're successful, made 1,000,001 businesses.
Yeah. It's all about giving back. It's all about what you're giving back.
This dude is he's great. So what the hell?
Yeah. And I think that even with the other guy, I think that he could probably contribute more to the culture if he just stopped the bullshit. Stop the bullshit.
Cut it out because the kids are watching, and the kids are the ones that are doing the dirt out there.
Yeah.
And you kind of want to stop that because these kids they scary these
different.
days.
Oh, they different.
Different.
They
I don't want no
different.
Auntie don't want no problems.
Yeah,
Auntie love you. Love you, but I wish for them to stop. I mean, the pledge is to stop.
Yeah, me too. I hate to see them going at it like that. You know what I mean? Because they both have influence, and I think together they could probably get a whole lot more accomplished. Positive.
It's gonna, God always intercedes. If you believe with the higher power, it's gonna have to stop. You know, and I know, bro, which is Big U, his heart. And everything. I think everything will prevail. Hopefully, the other guy just cuts it out and stops it and goes and sits down and just cut it out because we don't want no problems.
So what do you have going on now? I mean, we talked about the
I've been
Birth
having
of a Crip.
fun, you guys. Just having fun with Birth of a Crip. Trying to get the right. The most important thing is building your team up. Yeah. So I brought in one of the executive producers of Straight Outta Compton. This guy, he's done. Got like about 4 or 5 Oscar-winning movies. Brought him in as one of my EPs. Of course, I brought in Big U. And I'm gonna get the most awesome line producer who is also a writer. I'm in talks with them, but it's building up your team now.
Absolutely.
And I got some networks that are helping me. If they can't do it, they're bringing in people to help. So people think, oh, when is it gonna come out? Yo, it's a slow process because I'm asking for $4 million an episode. Yeah. That's 4 million times 13.
Yeah.
And the pandemic is already
happening. I tell people the same thing. I have 2 projects, same thing. I'm asking for $2 million an episode. So, people be kind of slow to
want it out
like
right now.
Yeah.
Well, me too.
Yeah.
I want it out while Miss Violet, Raymond Washington's mom, is still living.
Right.
That's my thing.
Right.
If it was anything else, I'll wait forever. Who cares? But I want Miss Violet to see her son on some kind of screen telling what his real purpose was for the Crips.
Yeah. And you're still styling too. So.
Oh yeah. I've been on tour with New Edition, working with Bobby Brown. You'll see me, you guys, in May 31st. Bobby's reality show. I got a couple scenes with Bobby because I've been dressing them, and Bobby comes to my house. I can't tell you guys, but anyway, you guys have to see every little step I take. Every little step I take. That's Bobby's new docuseries.
Okay, shout out to Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown, Alicia Brown, they're good people, good to me. Ralph Tresvant, all of the whole crew. Johnny Gill.
Okay,
been just dealing with them, working on Masked Singer, just playing my just waiting, but still working. And keeping things going.
What are you doing on Masked Singer?
Oh, the costumes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh my God, the costumes on there.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That's all you?
You got to be. That's not all me. It's a whole team. It's a whole team of 30 of us that build that stuff.
Okay.
No, we're talking about they build those things.
Wow.
It's not this. Oh no, they're built with your hands, and you come home and you're like, my nails, I can't get my. So that's true costuming, true designing, and it's a great team over there, producers and everybody. So it was going on to season 8 with them, and I'm praying that, you know, they green light me because I want to be part of the green light gang.
It's coming. I know, right?
Green light gang.
Yeah. Shout out to 50.
50. Do you hear
Shout
me?
out to 50.
50 or whoever, Master P, you know what I need, right?
I got you. Anything with No Limit or P, you know, we locked in. So
I love
just let
P.
me know.
And Murder, what was C Murder? Free C Murder, you guys.
Already.
Okay, I'm saying it's time. That man still look like he 21 and then let him go.
Yeah, real talk. So, man, listen, I want to give you your flowers, man. You have, you know, accomplished wonders, especially coming from LA, representing it in a big way. You've been through, you know, history. You've been next to some of the most, you know, seminal people in hip hop, you know, history. You know, and you're still here doing great things, man. So we appreciate you. The culture appreciates you. And I'm looking forward to seeing what all you got coming down the pipeline as well. And I'm here. I'm at your service, whatever I can do to help with whatever, you know,
I'm going to be calling upon you and you got your team here because I know P all you guys and anything we can do. Anything we can do right now for the kids, I just want to help get these kids right.
Even here, I mean, you know, Chico Brown shot his movie The Gitmo. He shot that over here as well. So
Chico Boogie Brown, what's up?
Yeah,
love my Brown. That's
Shout
my
out
Brown.
To Chico Compton.
Yeah,
Corner Pocket.
Corner Pocket. T-Poo. Yeah.
Pocket Hood. So man, it was a pleasure having you, Miss Kenya Ware.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Anytime.
Yeah.